All right. How y'all doing? This is your boy BrogiNaric. Back again here with my man Critical Blues Reviews.
What's the word, everyone?
Yes. And we're here to talk about Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. This will be a live spoiler review. We might have some other people hopping in from time to time, but this will be full spoilers. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, what could have been better, what should have been better, what we liked, crazy direction we could be going in. But we're going to talk all things Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. But before we get into that, don't forget to like this video, share it, subscribe to the channel, check out my man Critical's channel. And Critical, let the people know where they can find you, man.
Yes, sir. You can find me at Critical Blue Reviews. That's critical with a K, as you see on the screen there. On YouTube, it's Critical's Blue Reviews on YouTube, and on Instagram, it's Critical Blue Reviews, Instagram, and also Twitter.
All right. Now, this movie, of course, focuses on around the death of Chadwick Boseman. But before we get into that, I wanted to kind of give a quick shout out on another recent death that happened in the geek community, and that was the passing of Kevin Conroy, aka the best Batman. So I just want to give a little shout out to Kevin Conroy. R.I.P. to him.
Yes.
Sir. Once again, another person who passed away from cancer as well. So
oh wow,
he had 60. I think it was 66 when he passed away. Yo Pop, I'll be back to comment after I watch the movie. Okay, Yali Pop, thanks for hopping in. Don't forget to like and share it. But R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, like I said, best Batman of all time, another great hero. Very influential in my life because I love Batman animated series and all that stuff. So yeah, that was a shocker when that happened. But yes, I'm gonna see if the playback is looking good. Hold on, because I am on camera. I usually am not on camera, but I'm on camera right now. I'm gonna try it for this one. I want to see if the playback is looking all right. Okay, it's looking all right. If it get a little choppy, y'all let me know in the comments, and I will cut this motherfucker off with the quickness. All right. So let's get into it. Let's go into our initial hype going into this film, because as we know, Chadwick Boseman passed away. Was it 2020, right? When he passed away?
Yes, it was during COVID. Correct.
Yeah, it was during COVID. He passed away, which was a surprise, but we kind of knew, something was probably been going on because the photos of him being thinner and everything, and he passed away, and then it's like, well, fuck, what are we going to do with this franchise? It's like sorry, R.I.P. to him, great actor, but there was also the thing of like, well, what are they going to do handling this new movie that was going to be in production? It hadn't started just yet, but
right,
going into it, so there was a lot of weirdness and concern about what are Disney and Marvel and Ryan Coogler and the cast, how they're going through dealing with this, and controversy of like, well, who's going to take over the mantle, and all this craziness. Right. And there was a lot of hype and speculation for what this movie could be. And I will say, after seeing the film, this movie is much more straightforward than I thought it was going to be. Like, it's very simple. Just it's Wakandans and the Atlanteans dealing with each other. There's not much twists and turns, and not much big world building stuff within this for an MCU film. It's a very contained film, which I think works as a whole. But I kind of get why they didn't want to get too bogged down with that, because this movie is telling the story, but it's also trying to honor the passing of Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
And how did you feel they did that for you personally, just watching the film?
I think they did a good job, man. I'm not going to lie to you, man. As soon as the opening screen happened, I was already tearing up. You know what I mean? So I was like, oh, no. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, Critical. Not now. Luckily I had somebody else's kid next to me, and I had an empty seat on my right-hand side, and the movie theater was very loud.
So, right.
So, but man, it was a lot of those moments where you just you just think back and like you just wish that Chadwick was around. Chadwick was there to put his presence on the screen. You know what I mean? And you just really miss him. You know what I mean? You miss his acting. You wish you knew the person. I wish I knew the person, but definitely, I hear you're such a great man. So, and things that he's done for other people. So
Yes.
yeah, it really pulled me in. I think they did a good job with Chadwick's memory.
I would agree. I think now I think there's definitely some questions about him passing. So the film, as we get into this, the film starts with the changed intro, which I went and rewatched Black Panther the night before, and they had that same intro at the beginning of it on Disney Plus. Okay. But it had the regular music behind it, which I thought was pretty epic. And then in the movie version, it's the scene, but it's no music behind it.
Moment of silence,
moment of silence. So yeah, that was nice. So the film opens up where it's just like what we're in the Black Panther tech cave, and Shuri is trying to cure something that's going on with T'Challa. She's freaking out. She's stressed out. She's trying to make a cure for something. She's trying to recreate the heart-shaped herb. She's trying to make a synthetic version, and she's stressing out. And he passes away. And I was kind of surprised that they went right into it. It was almost as a way to kind of get past it, but like not to hide away from it. But it was just like, bam, here we are. Now he's dead. Now it's the funeral, and I was just like, oh shit, it was just kind of like almost like whiplash. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
How did you feel about the passing of T'Challa and story element of it?
I think it was cool. I think it was good enough. I didn't have a problem with it. It didn't rub me the wrong way or anything. You definitely at the beginning of the movie, but like the first 15 minutes in, 10 to 15 minutes in, you got to have something to get the audience, engaged. And I think that was it. Instead of like a horror movie, you get the first kill. You know what I'm saying? This one is a mourning. You get the sadness of mourning, or the happiness of the homecoming. You know what I mean? So, or the homegoing, I should say.
Yeah.
So it for me, it automatically went to the emotions. And it worked. I felt that it worked. I never started off a movie that I can remember crying, but it worked.
Right. I see now. It didn't make me cry, but it did make me sad. But I was also sort of confused. It's just like I said, it was sort of a whiplash to me, where it was just like we were going through it so fast. And it was interesting because my friend, as you know, Wally, who's been on here, he had mentioned that they were probably going to do like the Captain Marvel story in the comics where he died of cancer. And that's essentially what they did in this movie, where he dies. Well, they say it's sickness. They don't necessarily say it's cancer, but they say it was a sickness they couldn't cure. And for some reason, like there's questions about that where it's like, well, the heart-shaped herb, it's like, well, didn't he already have it in the system? But then again, I guess, nothing can stop cancer. I get it. I thought it was a bit messy, but like I get it. Like I get why they went in that direction,
right?
To handle him, not being within the story. Let's get what's up? What's up, Quest? Thanks for hopping in, man.
So I have a question for you, Brogi. So do you think that it should have been other superheroes there to honor his passing
at his funeral? Okay, that's a good question. Yes, I think there should have been. But it didn't bother me that they weren't there.
I kind of forgot.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't initially thinking of that, but like in hindsight, it's like, yeah, they should have been there, especially if they were there for Tony.
Exactly.
Some of them should have been there for Black Panther. Like at least like Bucky, Old Cap probably should have popped in. Hawkeye, yeah, and like maybe all the black superheroes probably should have just been there.
Right.
But whatever, I get, but yeah, I get it. They wanted to be more self-contained, more within its own universe. But that didn't really bug me. The way they did it, I thought was nice. Everyone in the white and everyone, mourning. Now I was annoyed that Nakia wasn't there, and I was gonna be pissed until towards the end where they explain all of that. And I'm like, okay, I'll let it slide. Because at first I was like, why is she not there? That doesn't make much sense. But like once they got into it with the story, I was like, all right, I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. So before we get into like some of my dislikes, let's talk about some of the things we like the most. I'm gonna let you go. What's something that you really liked in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
Well, I'm gonna start off with some small things. I definitely like the sirens they used in the water.
Oh, the Atlantic. Well, what were they called? The tech.
Oh man, I can't
Okay,
think of the name of it right
I
now.
should have wrote it down. I want to say Atlanteans, but I know they're not Atlanteans. Talokians, yeah.
Talokian. Yeah,
Talokians, yeah.
the way they use that, I didn't expect that. I was like, oh snap, that is pretty dope. You know what I mean? People just
Yeah.
hear the sound or the song or whatever, and they just walk off the ships. It was like a
Yeah.
horror movie. Kind of reminds you of like The Happening, you know, like it's walking
Yeah.
off
Or like
cliffs and
Invasion of the
stuff.
Body Snatchers or something.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That was
So
dope.
that was cool. I did enjoy that. I also liked I like the it seemed like it was two origin stories going. You had the origin story with Namor. You had his story, and then also you had the Shuri origin story. So I thought it was pretty cool. I think they were running side by side. I thought they were gonna make them a match. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Make
I
her a
thought we was.
queen.
Yeah, I thought they were kind of hitting towards that. I'm like, are we doing a love story thing here? Which it could have worked. I wouldn't have been like super against it, but I'm glad they didn't directly go on that path. But he was definitely using his charms on her, which I thought was believable and understandable to a degree as well. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying on that one.
Yeah, and then also I did like Riri. I think she did a really good job. It made me more excited to want to see Ironheart.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because at first, it was like whatever. I'm just gonna watch it because it's Marvel. That's what that's how I was like. But by watching her, I mean, she had the little Kiki Palmer thing going. I feel like Kiki Palmer could play that role. But
A little bit,
I
yeah.
really did feel that like they had me excited. I'm kind of interested to see her and like kind of grow with her and see what she's really about without any other action going on or her in some type of desperation just yet. We get to learn who she is, as a character. So I thought she was pretty cool. She got me interested.
Okay. I liked the actress that played her.
Okay.
And I liked her character early on in the film and towards, her being the MacGuffin of the story where she's the one they got to protect. That was fine. But as the movie went on, she kind of fell more to the wayside. But I mean, it's not her movie; it's Shuri's movie.
Right.
But I will say, even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Riri character, have not read a comic with her. I know she's not very popular within the comic world. Not just like asshole comic book fans, but like just normal comic book fans are not really digging her. I thought she was fine in the film. I will say, by the end of this, I wasn't like, man, I can't wait to see that Ironheart show. But like, I'll watch it because it's it's Marvel. But I wasn't like, oh man, I gotta watch that Ironheart show after. I thought she was, cool. Especially her introduction where she was at the college and she's like hustling the grades and doing the grades for everybody. And she did the what she called Okoye. What would she say to her? Something about her bald head. She had the ash on her head. That
ash on her head.
Funny.
Yeah.
That was probably one of the funniest jokes in the whole fucking movie. But she was cool, and her action sequences were fine. And her hanging out with Shuri, I like that. Both of them kind of being the two smart chicks. That was cool. Right. But like she was all right. I didn't hate her. The moments where she was getting trapped. She was like the time it was like, oh, the time when I get kidnapped, that's when y'all don't have a black parent. Like she had some funny moments. I fucked with her. I did fuck with Riri.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, I wasn't like, well, goddamn, I can't wait to see that Ironheart show. But I didn't hate it either. That's all.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Derpy 501 says 4 out of 5 for some cringe dialogue, but much of it drags a lot for pacing. In the end of the film, green screen errors are the only complaints I have with the film. I can see that. The pacing, some people have been saying that as a complaint. I didn't think it was paced poorly, but it did drag a little at certain moments, but it was nothing that made me upset about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't necessarily need action every 3 minutes sometimes, but I thought the pacing was okay, but nothing too bad. I've seen worse pacing in other movies. So
I know when it got slow, man, that was time to use the bathroom.
Yeah, no.
For me, it was like, oh, slow time. Okay, it's time to go.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with that. So some other things I liked. I did like the stuff with Okoye, which I was surprised at how much they gave her, and then how they kind of did her a little dirty towards the midway of the film, which when she gets fired and everything. I was like, yeah, it was a bit harsh. Like, I get where the queen was coming from, but I was like, damn, like that's Okoye. You can't just drop homegirl like that.
Yeah, that was what But I would say this though, because at first I was tripping. I was like, well, why would she do that? I felt she was tripping. I like, why would she even fire so quickly? But then I thought about the emotion of the first movie where they had to escape, and even though that the Dermalage is supposed to, be behind the king or queen, who's ruling at that time, that's who they have to represent if they like it or not. You know what I mean? But even though Queen Ramana, am I saying that name correctly? Ramonda. Queen Ramonda, like she just had a grudge about that, which was human. Even like in the movies, she probably wouldn't have a grudge. But if that was reality, I think that would really be a grudge, even though they're doing their job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then you lose my daughter after you convince me. Yeah. So I kind of was, I think it was just an emotional thing. I think if she wouldn't have, not to spoil it, if things wouldn't have happened to her so quickly, I think she would have gotten back on the team. I think she needed time to, to decompress, but she never got that time. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, they did kind of leave that open-ended when I'm like, is she back on the team? Is she not? Like that, if I was sure, that would have been like one of the first things I would have did as Queen. Like, oh no, you got your job back. Like, come on, Okoye, you got your job back. Like, we that. My mom was tripping, y'all. Come on back. But I like that. I like her fight scene with Tuma. That shit was really cool. Like that whole sequence.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, was pretty good. I like how practical it was with them in the car and her and Shuri on the motorcycle. Just that standalone fight between her and the Tuma, I thought was pretty dope. And seeing how I can't remember. I'm just gonna keep calling them Atlanteans. How they was, how their vibe was compared to the Wakandan vibe, I thought was pretty cool. Right. Got this comment from D Movie Man. What's up? He said the real reason is Lupita's scheduling conflicts. There's actually concept art that shows Nakia fighting with the other women in the final in-game battle. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. She wasn't in the end game. Damn, that's right. So yeah, she definitely, you're right. She definitely could have been there for that one. But speaking of which, you know what? I'm gonna get this one out the way. I don't know if you was right there with me, but I ain't gonna lie. Another thing that I really enjoyed. Another thing I really enjoyed.
Wait. I think I'm with you. I'm with you.
Look, we're gonna get a little saucy, but another thing I really enjoyed in this movie.
What did you enjoy, sir?
Was Lupita and them yams, man.
Yes!
Lupita and them yams.
Double cake, baby.
And double yams. Oh my God. Like I was just sitting there, like when she popped on screen, I was like, why are we in Haiti? And then it's like, oh, that's probably when Nakia is, hanging out. And then she pops him on the screen. I'm like, man, she looks great. Like the way Ryan Coogler had them shoot Lupita. She looked amazing.
Double cheeked up, amazing.
Now, before all that, it was just like she looked something like her skin. She was delighting on her. Mm-hmm. It looked great. And then she kept moving, and then there was a certain shot. So I was just like, wait a second. I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yes.
I said, where that happened? I said, damn, that pandemic was, she might have ate a lot of snacks over the pandemic or something, but I was just like, oh my.
Her Huggies is busting.
You're right. I was like, wow, Nakia, oh my God. The real queen was up in here looking badass.
Yes.
We'll save that for later. But I like how they brought her back in, because like I said, early on, I was like, okay, why was she not at her husband? Well, I guess they didn't get married technically.
Ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, her man's funeral. Like that's kind of weird that she didn't pull up to the funeral. And then, we'll save that a little bit later. But she had her own private service in Haiti, which I was like, okay. Because as the movie was going on, I'm like, damn, they not going to answer that? Because that was really pissing me off. But
because she wasn't a teacher, she worked at a museum, correct? Is that in Haiti?
No, she was in an outreach program where she was helping like underprivileged children in Haiti, which I thought was kind of, that was cool that they added that. Yeah. Her still doing her spy stuff, but not quite as much spy stuff. But I liked her in the character in the movie. I wish she would have had more screen time. Which was one of my problems with the first movie. I wish she would have had a bit more screen time. But what she did was fine. You know what I'm saying? Mm. I also felt the same way with M'Baku, which I might get into a little bit later. I thought he needed more screen time as well. But some other things that's going on. Our lead character, Shuri. I got to say, Letitia Wright, she did a phenomenal job as the role of Shuri. How you feeling about Shuri's development and what she's gone through in this film?
That Letitia, that's another sweetheart of mine. That's wifey right there. I think she did a great job with the acting. Also, even with certain scenes, I guess since we're on Shuri, I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. When she conjured the spirit of Kilmonger, you know what I mean?
Mm.
I thought that when she got into it with not Okoye, when she got into it with Nakia, that was Killmonger. I was like, yeah, I wonder if like she sat down and studied Killmonger and like his head movement and his actions when she was getting in Nakia's face. I was like, yeah, that's
Oh, when
Killmonger she
she
summoned.
was acting, yeah, when she got out of the astral plane.
Exactly.
Okay.
She was just like really aggressive. And I was like, yeah, that's Killmonger right there. And I thought they were gonna actually do something with that, like some type of what's the Spider-Man comic book where Dr. Octopus took over his
Oh,
body?
so they were gonna do Spectacular Spider-Man with Doc Ock take over Peter's body. Oh
Exactly. I
my
thought they were gonna do
god,
that with
no,
Killmonger.
no, that would have been crazy. Like
That
she's
would
been possessed by Killmonger. That would have been
would you
interesting.
watch that? Would you
I would have
watch that?
watched that. That would have been kind of dope. I'm not gonna lie, that would have been kind of dope.
I
It's
thought they were
interesting.
going there.
Yeah, it was interesting that some people were surprised that that's who she saw because I kind of saw it coming just because that was the only way you could fit a Michael B. Jordan cameo is it would have to been the astral plane, but then they kind of threw you for a curve because the Queen had just recently died. Like maybe she would see him, but like I mean, see her mom there. But for it to be Killmonger, I thought was great, and the fact that he was. We'll get more into Killmonger because I got a lot of things about Killmonger with this
Okay,
film,
cool.
but the fact that he was the one telling her like, "Hey, you need to make the right decision because your father wasn't going to do it because your father would have killed Riri, which is facts. He would have straight up just killed her and wouldn't bother helping her because he did not give a fuck. He's like your brother would have did something. He's a little too noble, and he probably would have tried to fight Namor to the death or whatever, or like let him slide or whatever. So you need to you know go full force on this guy because he just took your mom away and you need to make the right decisions. And I definitely get where he was coming from because he led to Shuri being more ruthless because in the comics she's much more of a more ruthless character than even T'Challa because like
Yeah.
in the MCU she was the lighthearted tech girl. She was still younger, but now that I like that this movie and previous events kind of pushed her to be more of that more serious and that darker uh target role for her. You know what I'm saying? So I thought they handled her development pretty well in this one film. Just to get a lot of that in one film, I thought they did pretty well. I liked her still being defiant with her still wanting to be more tech based. How she's like, I'm not really super into the tradition, but she's not as disrespectful, but she's just being like, look, it's just much more logical to be tech based, which I get that as well. And I kind of like a little bit of the back and forth with her and Okoye about the suits or whatever, and the bit towards the end where she's not at the ceremony because she's like, I don't really care about this. I got more important things to worry about, so that's why she wasn't at the ceremony. Like stuff like that. I like that they kind of kept that a part of her character. Her taking on the mantle, which for some reason was a lot of controversy. I guess a lot of people just didn't know that she is supposed to be the Black Panther. So like I had no problem with her taking over the mantle. Would I make it the second movie? No, but because of the circumstances of the lead actor being gone and them not going to recast anytime soon or ever, whatever, I get it. I can live with Shuri being the Black Panther. Had no problem with it. Her in the fight scenes was fine. Her the way she got her powers with the whole connection between uh, Atlantis and Wakanda. I like that with her, remaking the herb, and she's like a little bit more powerful now. As you saw, she kicked the shit out of that. Was it the table she kicked or something?
Did she throw something or kick something? Yeah, it was
Yeah,
something.
and the thing went like flying like super crazy. But anyway, I was fine with her in the role, and like I said, like we talked about the stuff with her and Namor, I thought was good. So, now where they go from here on, I don't know. But for this film, I was cool with it. How you feeling about Shuri? We
Yeah,
already talked about that, right?
yeah, that's another moment. When she got the mantle, I felt really happy for her. I'll put it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, eyes got a little glossy, man. I don't know, man. This movie just really did it to me. But I would say that I didn't have a problem with her getting the mantle. That was dope. I just felt like they should have had some type of training to where, because I kept saying, I said this, it didn't turn out the way I thought it was going to be, but I said this earlier on. I was talking to somebody and I was saying, hey, if they have Shuri just come out, just whip it up on Namor without any training, this is going to be whack. And when it started going in that direction, I got a little scared. Now they did use like her not mechanical skills, but engineering skills and her smarts and things, that her technology. But I felt that it should have been. I think that she should have been a more tech-based character, like just throwing gadgets, like where you think that she's going to actually fight you hand to hand, it's a gadget in your face. You know, almost like a Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like where you just, but more gadgets. You know what I'm saying? More things where it was almost like how they did Thanos when
when Iron Man was fighting him.
Yeah, when Iron Man was fighting them, and they were like they were throwing everything at him. They had them all, you know, locked in and stuff like that. I felt like, that's what I wanted. I wanted her to do more of that, you know, using her skill instead of using martial arts, something we've never seen her do. You know, so.
I think they handled it well enough. I mean, like we said, at the beginning of the movie, T'Challa passes, and there's another year goes by. We had the in between. Okay, now we can kind of get into things that I didn't like. One of the things with the whole rushing of T'Challa's passing, we have to remember that Shuri and T'Challa were both gone. And I thought they were going to focus more on the Queen dealing with both of her kids being gone, then them coming back, then losing her son. I thought they were going to go that way, but they just kind of cut past that. So I was a little... I would have liked to have seen some of that as well with the Queen in those 5 years. What did she do without her family? You know,
I did hear that. I'm sorry, go
ahead. No, but go ahead.
No, I did hear that they, if Chadwick was alive, they had a script allegedly written where they were going to go into that.
Yes, it was up Nagasi. Thank. Yes, nice hat. But yeah. I guess they could have went in that. One of the things that they did keep in terms of if Chadwick was here, that was the initial plot of this movie, was the ending of the first movie, which I love. Black Panther, love that movie. That's my favorite MCU movie. Is it because he's black? You goddamn right. But it's my favorite MCU movie. The ending is fucking stupid. Where T'Challa goes to the UN and he tells them, "Hey, Wakanda, we got all this, we're this, you know, this unassuming country, but we got all this tech. We about to help the world. Just flat out, just putting all this shit out there to the world." And I like that this movie continues that thread where that has now bit them in the ass. And I feel like the most, if Chadwick was still here, the movie would have been the ramifications of that. And that's still there, but it's not as in your face because I guess they didn't want to be like, well, T'Challa has now doomed us and because they wanted to be more positive towards, you know, Chadwick Boseman. But I like that they still kept that element where it's like, okay, now that you exposed yourself, the other countries are now coming after you and they're trying to play you like you dumb. And I love that sequence where the Queen goes into the UN room and she's like, "Look, we know y'all trying to take our shit and we caught y'all. We could have killed you because you just, you know, you stepped a huge line. We could have murdered you and started a war." Habitual line steppers. But we gonna be nice. We gonna show some decorum, and we gonna let you live. But try that shit again, there's gonna be some problems. So I thought that sequence was really great. The vibranium storyline was great, albeit short-lived. Yeah, it was like that was a really good section, but it kind of dropped off a little bit. But I like the I'm going. All right, I'm cutting the camera off. There we go. It lasted long enough. I'm cutting the camera off. All right, here we go. So we tried it. I'm cutting the camera off.
It lasted for a little bit.
It lasted for a little bit. But you know, the dualities between the Atlanteans, like I said, the Atlanteans and Wakanda, and them forming, like having a beef, but also forming a union, I thought was handled very well. Now, I do think there was a bit of a plot hole with it could be a plot hole, or it could be like could have been alluded to more was all the stuff with the CIA. Because because going into this, a lot of people was assuming someone's going to be playing the Namor's people against the Wakandans,
right?
And a lot of people was assuming it was going to probably be someone like Dr. Doom, which has happened in the comics before, would make sense, but it didn't go down that way. And then we have this whole subplot with what's his name, Everett Ross.
Everett Ross, right?
And he's the token white guy that's there to help the Wakandans. And we find out that Everett Ross, is connected with fake Amanda Waller, Val, and Fontaine, whatever the hell her name is. But it was like this whole plot that we would keep, or like segment we would keep cutting back to, where she's watching him and basically playing him, knowing that he's in contact with the Wakandans, and it didn't really go anywhere by the end of it. It's just like, oh, I've been watching you.
Right.
And then it was like, well, are we doing something? And they kind of just dropped that plot line. And I feel like it would have made more sense if it was America or the CIA is the one that's pitting these two countries against each other, hoping that they would take each other out and then come in and reap up the benefits. It seems like that's what they wanted to do, but then like Disney had to come in and be like, hey, can't do that. We can't make America the bad guys in this movie with black folks and Latinos. We can't do that. We're not going to do that.
I was thinking about that too. I was
how you feel about that?
I actually was thinking, because I was like, wasn't America involved? And I was like, no, that was the French. And I was like, yo, I said
it was the French, which was also interesting. Yeah,
because I was like, well, like it seemed like the United States would get involved, or America or whatever would get involved, and would be trying to get the vibranium no matter what, by any cost. I mean, that would be reality. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, for some reason,
reality, exactly, very real.
Yeah. So I was like, well, they had Captain America. Like, did Captain America sway the people? Or sway the Americans, or the like the high officials?
You talking about Sam?
Both Captain. Actually, Sam.
Oh, okay.
When he said you got to do better. Maybe that speech did it.
Yeah, you do better, goddamn.
Or
maybe they listen. You know what? I didn't consider that.
or just the image of Chris. I'm about to say Chris Pratt. Not Chris Pratt.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, Captain America. Maybe his image. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but I thought about that. I was like, that is weird. They didn't do that. Ryan Coogler. Seemed like Ryan Coogler would have put that in there.
That's what I'm saying. I think he probably did, and then like Feige and the rest of Disney was like, nah, we not about to do that. So so it was kind of there. The whole revelation that Val was Everett's ex-wife, I thought was interesting, but I'm like, but it was like little nuggets was dropped, but it just didn't go anywhere. And I was like, well, if that's the case, then you didn't really need it there. But speaking of that, let's talk about Namor, which you've already spoke upon, about Namor being dope. The actor, I thought he was really great.
Okay.
The guy that they played Namor, I'm gonna look up his name, but anyway, the guy that played Namor, I thought he was great, and I was happy that they kept Namor as sort of like a antagonist or an anti-hero. I thought that was great.
Tanakh Hirata.
He was dope. And I like the look. I like how they changed, the Aztec style. Normally, when I think of Namor, I always thought more of an Asian look. Because if you look at him in the comics, you may say he looks like a white guy, but like there's other designs of him throughout history. Where he looks a little more like an Asian guy. But the fact that they made him Hispanic, Mexican, whatever, I thought was great, and how they brought that into his history, his backstory, was really cool. Like the Atlanteans, goddammit. The Atlanteans was like an offshoot of the Wakandans. They also came in contact with vibranium, but it affected them in a different way, where it's like instead of having the heart-shaped herb, they had the heart-shaped water plant or whatever, and then that altered them, and they have to stay underwater and all that. That stuff was dope.
Yeah.
And him being a mutant, I love that he just flat out was like, I'm a mutant. Like they didn't mix words. He's like, no, I'm a mutant, because he's half human, half Atlantean, and so he's a mix of both, and he can go out of the water for longer periods without having to you know, be too subjective to it. Like he'll dry out, but of course he can last on Earth a lot longer. He's got the wings, he can fly. Him being the feather serpent god, like all of that. Yeah, all of that shit was dope. But I got some weird things that it hit me when I thought about it. When he sneaks up on the Queen and Shuri the first time, he just pops up out of the water, which was a cool moment, but it was also like, how did he do that? Because if you think about it, Wakanda, and I was thinking about Wakanda is a landlocked country. It's not connected to like a river that leads to the ocean. So I'm like, how did he sneak into Wakanda? This is just a slight nitpick that hit me when I kind of thought about it. I was like, how did him and his people continue to sneak into Wakanda? Because it's a landlocked nation.
I'm totally confused with. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm confused with Wakanda, period. Because like when they fought, M'Baku and T'Challa fought, like he got thrown in the water. But then if you go, I guess, further north, it's like snow. It's like in Antarctica. So I don't know. It's kind of confusing to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It's a big country. They can have But I just thought it was weird that the whole army snuck into the country twice. And like they didn't have water defenses. Like if it is a landlocked, and maybe there's like some underground tunnels that can lead to like a main waterway. It's like y'all didn't defend that. Y'all didn't block that off. Y'all had no sensors and nothing. It was a bit odd. But anyway.
So
besides all that.
Oh, okay.
He was dope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to ask. Like, so when they fought, was that in Wakanda when M'Baku and T'Challa fought, or was that like outside somewhere outside of Wakanda?
When they fought on the cliff?
Yeah, and he threw him in the water, or the waterfall or whatever.
You talking about him and Kilmonger? Or you talking about him?
Well, my bad. Yeah, it was Kilmonger, but they were like fighting. Yeah, but it was like they were fighting over water. I thought, but
yeah, it was off. Yeah, it was a cliff, and they was like on the side of the cliff fighting, and yeah, he threw him down into the river. But yeah, that's how it hit me when I rewatched the movie. I was like, oh, that's right. Wakanda's like a landlocked nation, so I don't know. Is there like underwater tunnels that he came through, or maybe there is a river that leads into? I don't fucking know. But it was just a logistics thing. Sometimes I overthink these stuff.
But that's interesting with Namor and Black Adam, because I actually felt that Namor should have had Black Adam's personality.
What?
Yeah, because Namor is an asshole. Namor talks trash. Namor is sarcastic in the comic book. He's sarcastic. You know what I'm saying? Very. He
was an asshole. Did you watch the movie?
No, he was kind of. No, he wasn't. He was a comic book asshole. Namor. He was that dude that I'm not gonna say that. He was that dude that gets into physical altercations and the person defends him type of asshole. He wasn't like Namor. I talk trash to you. Like he didn't talk trash, and speak down to people.
He was very okay. Yeah, he wasn't okay. I'll give you that. He wasn't as pompous.
Right.
You kind of think like he wasn't like the pompous asshole, but he was still an asshole. Like he straight up just pulled up on him like, hey, y'all work for me, or there's gonna be some issues, and then he just leaves.
So you don't think he should?
You know what I'm saying? Like when he first pulled up on him.
Oh yeah, it's on the Queen and Shuri.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like he was kind of setting demands, but he was chill. He was chill. He wasn't like, yo, this is like Namor's. I don't know. I guess when I read Namor, I read him differently. And when I read Namor, it's almost the Black Adam version. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when I was watching, I was like, you know what? Black Adam should have Namor should have had Black Adam's personality. That's what I was kind of thinking when I was watching Black Adam. I was like, this seems more like Namor, but.
Interesting. I feel the opposite. I like that they made him a bit. I like that they made him charming, as opposed to him just staring there and just being, I'm the man in black and and I'm the best ever. It's like, no, I like that he had some, he had a little more dimension to him. He had something to fight for. Like this guy's fighting for his people. He's fighting for his people way better than what that bullshit Black Adam did in his movie. Well, I'm just saying he was riding for his people.
Well, I wouldn't say fully.
He's like, I got to be a protector.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say.
But I just thought it was interesting
Yeah,
I thought it was interesting the similarities between the two, and it's just like this was more what I wanted from Black Adam, where he's like he's a man of his people. But he's also. Well, I mean, in Black Adam, he could probably kill more a lot easier. And this one, he's definitely Namor is definitely killing. But like they gave more of an empathetic side to his story because his enemies was more believable. You know, the whole thing where he goes back to the surface and he sees the I guess it was the Spaniards or whatever, and they had the Mexicans enslaved, and he just sets that shit on fire, and he's just like, fuck it. And that was the whole thing with his name, Namor. I didn't know any. I took Spanish. I don't remember Spanish, but the whole Namor is the kid without love. That was dope. I like how they worked that in to the story. I thought that was pretty cool. But now let's get into things we didn't care for. Now I will say, Namor was dope. Namor was very dope. But when we got to this shit right here, I was like, okay, what the fuck are we doing, movie? When we got to this scene right here, I was like, yo, what is happening? You know what I'm saying? Like my whole theater was just like, wait, what? Like it was that moment in the theater where everybody was like, wait, did they just do that?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there with my brother. I was like, okay, what the fuck are we doing, movie?
I'm not going to even tell you what my mind process was going. I didn't say it on your show because right after we talked about what may happen on Black Panther, I actually was like, you know what? The Queen is going to wear the mantle because she's the one that fought in the animation. Even though that I felt like that was some sucker stuff to have the doggone Black Panther sit on the sideline with Shuri. I don't know what's up with black men in these movies, these Marvel movies. But we'll get to that later.
We'll get into that.
But that one I was like, all right, she's gonna put on the mantle any moment because she basically was head of the Dermalage at one point. Like she taught them how to fight, if I'm not mistaken. So I was like, she's gonna wear the mantle, and she's gonna get right. And then I'm like, any minute now, she's gonna put on the mantle. Then when they were like doing, resuscitation, and I was like, all right, both of them gonna wake up, because she has to put on the mantle,
right?
and she didn't wake up. I'm like,
nope,
what?
He didn't wake up, and I said, no, they didn't. I said, no, they didn't do this shit in this movie. We just got rid of Chadwick. Now we gonna do like I feel like this was something that was gonna happen in the movie regardless because it was planned, but the fact that Chadwick passed and they had to deal with that too. It was like, ooh, you probably should have took this part out. Like, if you're gonna have the T'Challa death, probably should have took the Queen's death out, but they didn't, and I don't agree with it. I thought it was a bit weird.
So do you think
Shuri? A bit weird.
You think Shuri and M'Baku should have a relationship?
Fuck no. No. What? No. This isn't Game of Thrones. We're not doing that bullshit. No, this is not Game of Thrones.
But they're not related though. They're not cousins. They're not cousins, sisters, nieces, nephews.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I give you that. You know what? You're right. You're right about that. That's the one thing that you're right. That actually would make sense. But no, I don't think they should do that. But the Queen passing away, I thought was crazy. And with the Queen passing away, but then by the end, Shuri ultimately making the deal with this guy because she realizes that the Atlanteans are their only ally, which it made sense, but it's like it took, it's the roundabout way to get to it with the whole, battle or whatever. And she realizes like, no, we need to work as an ally. My only problem with this is, or at least by them making that deal, this proved one thing to me. Kilmonger did nothing wrong. Kilmonger did nothing wrong. Because what did Kilmonger say? Kilmonger came in, he said, hey, these people, the Wakandas are sitting on their asses for centuries. You have the technology. People like you are getting hurt all over the world. You need to get off your ass and do something. They didn't listen to him because he was black, and they didn't listen to him because he was black. All Kilmonger did, Kilmonger came in, he said, hey, I'm Wakandan. He brought over one of the enemies. He brought over a terrorist, gave it to him, said, hey, this man's a terrorist. I brought your enemy. I'm one of y'all. Y'all did me dirty, but don't worry about it. We just go move past that, and we go try to save other people like us. They said, get your ass up out of here. We don't want to deal with you.
Right.
Mexican man comes in, fucks up the whole country, kills the Queen, and then they like, shit, you know what? We still got to work with him because the outside people are fucking us over. So what did Kilmonger do wrong?
Man, he did absolutely nothing wrong. It depends.
What did
right?
he do wrong? Well, tell me without telling lies.
I'll be honest with
telling
you.
lies. What did he do wrong?
I don't like how they wrote Killmonger as I thought about it. Like because even with his lady, like Killmonger and his girlfriend were the only black relationship in the MCU. You know what I'm saying? And he killed her. She was ride or die. You don't kill ride or dies. You know what I'm saying? Like they shouldn't be expendable. That's a ride or die right there. And he killed her. And then so that I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that, like he was mistreating the elders. So it was a lot of his personality that I felt that
Shuri's mistreating the elders, and we looking at it like that. That's why he popped up to her. Like they're very similar. It's just like he said, her brother was a little too noble. He fucked up by telling the world the secret, is biting them in the ass. And that's why I like how Shuri's a little bit different when she realizes that. So when at the moment she's like, all right, look, we got to work together. It might be a little contentious, but we got to work together because the outside world, they go fuck with us regardless. So we need to save our resources to kind of form an alliance. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
kind of get that, but it's a different character.
Actually, I got at first I thought it was lame. I was like, she should have killed him. You killed my mom's. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what culture you from where it's okay to kill my mother. You know what I'm saying? But hey, but then again, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? If she would have killed Namor, the what do you call them? The Talikans, huh?
Talikan,
yeah. They would have killed
the Atlanteans.
Yeah, the Atlanteans. They would have killed the rest of the Wakandians because they were surrounded. Because remember, they were basically like pushing them off the ship, and if it wasn't for Namor calling them off, they would have died. So I was like, you know what? Even though that pissed me off, that like they basically came and slaughtered like a lot of their their people and killed Shuri's mother, and they just gave in to be like, all right, a truce. But then again, I was like, you know what? If Shuri would have killed Namor, the rest of her tribe would have gotten killed. So I was like, it
would have been endless fighting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I say by that logic, Killmonger did nothing wrong. What did he? Like I said, he brought one of their enemies. He came in. He won the right to be king. He didn't cheat. He won it fair and square. He was a little, he was a little off the end, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Killmonger should have did everything. It should have been Killmonger and T'Challa coming together to form an alliance.
That would have happened.
Like Killmonger said, T'Challa was too. That's the true, but that's the issue with like I said, they should have formed an alliance, but they didn't. And now Shuri is essentially put in that same situation, and she has to form an alliance with Namor, which is like this movie, which could be sort of a critique. I didn't mind it as much, but this movie is sort of a redo of the first movie, just not as good. But overall, the main story is very similar. Where you have the kingdom making outside deals. How do they deal with their place in the world and people trying to steal their resources and them trying to? It's just Shuri made the better decision as opposed to what T'Challa did. So I get it, or maybe they would have just did it with T'Challa if Shuri wasn't in the role. But it is what it is. I thought it was fine, but you got to think about like this. I said, after seeing it.
If you got to think about this too, with Killmonger, he destroyed the herb. Like he was selfish. Like thinking back on it,
he was selfish.
As much as I love Killmonger, they wrote him very selfish for no reason. I mean, I guess to a certain degree, but I felt it was to no end. Like he was just so selfish that even when people that might try to help him out or he can do a deal with them, he'll turn on them in the end. Unfortunately, and I didn't like that writing of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey. But I feel
that's kind of what they did in that what if episode when he took over and he saved Tony Stark and he just kept trying to get more and more power. Like he is Killmonger. Initially, the dark side of him is he is too power hungry. But like just watching this, I'm like, what this like Namor is essentially doing the same shit that Killmonger did. Only thing is Namor had a group of people. He had an army with him willing to ride for him.
And he's not.
Killmonger was Killmonger was. Well, Killmonger was just himself, and he was trying to go to his people like, "Hey, yo, y'all got to get y'all shit together. These people are fucking us over." And they was like, "Nah, we ain't trying to hear that shit." And
outsider
Namor Fishman come in and kill your queen and fuck up your whole kingdom. You're like, fuck, I guess we got to work with him. I was like, see, y'all should have just rolled Killmonger, but
hey, they just killed your mother. I don't care.
I don't care. this shit is rough out here. This shit is rough out here. So, but yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. But I did not agree. I wasn't a big fan of them killing the queen. I thought that was like, you probably should have.
Yeah,
I don't know. They probably should have. Yeah, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I like to seeing the city coming together to save the people though. That was cool. But I will say, as you kind of brought up, I think they did my man. They did my man a little dirty in this movie. I like Winston Duke. I like M'Baku, but there was the certain moments where I was waiting for him to really like get in there and start whooping some ass, and he just kept getting his ass beat like every time. I was like, all right, man, what are we doing?
Yeah,
with my man M'Baku.
It's almost like, you know, if you're a black man in that film, you get less of the stick. You know, and I hate to make it sound like that, but it's kind of true. I mean, like everybody. You know, like M'Baku didn't really like. He had a little role when he went against T'Challa, and by him even almost submitting, not only submitting T'Challa, but you know, going the distance with T'Challa. I'll say that. You know, you would think that in the battle, he's gonna at least get some Kenpachi if you watch Bleach type stuff in, where he's gonna just wreck shop until Namor shuts him down. But it was like he kind of did certain things. He didn't do anything interesting or exciting to be like that Joker M'Baku. It was nothing. It was like, all right, he threw some people around, and then here comes the fish man, and then he jumps up and gets a hole put in his chest. You know what I'm saying? It was like, come on, he was a goofball.
Yeah, that made sense. I mean, I wasn't mad at him getting punched in the chest. I mean, it's fucking Namor. Namor would,
but at least look good fighting the other.
The fact that he. Yes, what I was saying. Yeah, I thought, and I would have liked if he would have worked to fight Atuma or something, but then they gave Atuma to Okoye, so
which was a good fight.
What it is, but he was just kind of
It was a great fight between them.
It was a dope fight. You're breaking up a little bit.
Oh, my bad. I was saying it was a good fight between them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. They could have gave M'Baku a good fight. You know what I'm saying? With somebody, but
he could have fought what's her name? Namora, but it is what it is.
But
yeah. It happened. Now, other things that I did care for, but we didn't mention, but the soundtrack is dope, and the score is great, and all the costumes I thought were amazing in this film.
Yeah,
cannot skip over that. Like that stuff was great. I thought most of the direction was good. Some of the action sequences were really good. I like that they tried to be a little more practical, of course, towards the end when everything got crazy and CGI and all of that, but. And it wasn't as bad as other moments. I know a lot of people knocked the first movie for the crazy CGI not looking as good. Yeah, but I still prefer the first one over this film.
Yeah, I like the fight.
That being said, what's another?
Oh, good.
No, you good.
Oh no, I was saying I actually like the fight scenes better in this one than I did in the action sequence better in this one than I did in the first one, because that I felt like what hurt the first movie was that final fight between Kilmonger, and it was like nothing interesting happened in that fight, like nothing worthy, like talk worthy, or like, oh, did you see when he did this? Or, it was nothing that really was exciting about that fight, and then the CGI was a little weird to me in the first one. That's what hurt me in the first movie. This one I felt like they did pretty good in the fighting. You know what I'm saying? The fighting aspect, especially with Okoye and what's the other guy's name? The Talakian?
Atuma.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you said Atuma?
Yeah, Atuma.
Yeah, Atuma. Yeah. So like that one was real cool.
His name.
You know what I'm saying? And also Namor, Shuri fight. I thought that was pretty cool. It was brutal. You know what I mean? So I felt like the fighting was actually a step up.
I did like how brutal that Shuri was when she was fighting against Namor. Now, my only problem with that scene, though, is when she uses the ship to trap him so she can dry him out.
Mm-hmm.
There's that whole moment when he's still holding his spear and he starts using the spear to damage the ship, and then the AI is like, "Oh no, the spear is vibranium." I'm like, "You already know it's vibranium, so why is it still in his hand? When you fed him in the ship, you should have took it right out of his hand instead of letting him hold it." That didn't make any fucking sense. So he destroys the ship. I'm like, come on, now, who wrote this? That was a bit weird that Shuri let that happen. I'm like, his shit is vibranium. Don't leave it in his hand. But
maybe because I would say maybe because he didn't lose all his energy yet from absorbing him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe because I think if Shuri, that's one thing I would say I would give him credit to, that Shuri didn't fight him straight up. If Shuri would have fought him straight up and won, that would have been terrible. But by her using,
she got fucked up.
Yeah, she did. And by her using that heat to dry him out, you know, like if she would have tried to take the sword, that spear from him, he would have killed her, I think.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, he did straight up stab her, which was pretty. I was surprised that they went that far with it. Now, I didn't like when she got off the spear. There was no blood. I was like, all right, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. It's still a Marvel movie. There was no blood. That spear was clean as shit when she got off when she broke the edge and popped off of it. I was like, yeah, still a Disney movie. But there was another plot line that was kind of there, but they didn't go full force with it, and that was the what do you call it? The Midnight Angels, where they, you know, she was building the suit for the Dora Milaje, the special battle suits, and like her and Okoye was kind of going back and forth about it, or what. Like it was there because in the comics, the certain members of the Dora Milaje splinter off and they form their own group, and they take those suits and they call themselves the Midnight Angels. And I thought that was going to be a little bit more within the story, and the character Anika was going to be like a traitor or something, and they didn't do any of that. She was just kind of there just to be there, which was like, all right, I guess. So I know they're supposed to be building.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know they're supposed to be building to a. Go ahead.
No, my bad. I was asking, in the real story, she's a traitor.
Yeah, she and her girlfriend and some of the other Dora Milaje splinter off from Wakanda, which in terms in the comics, Wakanda was like really like it was kind of getting messed up, so they kind of just broke off and formed their own group. And I thought that's what they were hinting towards, or they were going to build to, but I guess that wasn't part of the story. Like I thought like they were going to get paid off or something, like, you know, with the whole double agent thing going on. That's why I thought it was going, but it didn't. And I was like, oh, like I said, this movie is way more straightforward than, you know, all the speculation going into it kind of would lead us to believe, which was was interesting. But like I'm fine with that. I'm not mad at it, but I just, you know, it's just there's a lot going on in this film that was not what we thought going into it. But once again, like I said, Shuri was dope. Where we go with this, I don't know. We can talk about what's next, because, you know, we end the movie, they make the deal, they're gonna, you know, watch each other's back for now. And Shuri is the queen, but they didn't go through the full ceremony. Like I said, she doesn't have time for that. She had other things to do. She goes to Haiti. She's hanging with Nakia. She goes to do the ceremony where she burns off the funeral clothing like her mother showed her earlier in the film. And she has that heartbreaking moment where she's sitting there and she's remembering her brother and her mother. Very, very good dramatic scene from Letitia Wright, where she's sitting at the beach. I'm trying to find the image now. Hold on. Yeah, this one right here, where she's sitting at the beach and she's remembering her brother, her mother, and then Nakia pops up on her, and she has this little boy with her, and it's like, and I'm like, okay, here we go, and she says, "This is my son, Toussaint," right? She said that's her son, Toussaint, and you know, we find out that T'Challa and Nakia had a baby, had a secret child that they, you know, agreed to not have him raised under the pressures of royalty. We had him here. We had a special ceremony. Conveniently, the mom knew about him. Conveniently, we had our own little service, and I'm like, that's fine. That's nice. You know, that's a nice sentiment. The kid was named T'Challa, but his that's his Wakanda name, but his Haitian name is Toussaint, which is from Toussaint Louverture. Yeah, the general. Yeah, right. He was one of the generals in the Haitian Revolution, which I like that. That was nice. But this kind of puts the movie in a weird situation, because we have the whole recast T'Challa movement, because, you know, Marvel was very much like, oh, we're not recasting the T'Challa character, don't worry about it, blah blah blah. But, you know, people we don't want the Black Panther character to end with just Chadwick Boseman. You know, we've had plenty of James Bonds, we've had plenty of Superman, plenty of Batman, plenty of Spider-Man. So why now all of a sudden do we stop with we done had like two. We got to have three blades now. With Black Panther, we're gonna stop.
That's true.
Because Chadwick died. Not to disrespect the man, but it's let's keep the character alive, not bury him. Right. And I feel like this is probably Disney's sort of half-ass way to kind of get around it. But I'm fine with them having a kid, but I don't think we need for this kid to be the new Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna go with Shuri, stick with Shuri. You know what I'm saying? Or if we're gonna use the multiverse to bring in an alternate version of Black Panther, do that. I don't like the idea of, well, we got this kid here. He's 6, but in another 15 years, he could be Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? He could be Black Panther. I'm not a big fan of that idea. But how did you felt about that moment?
They love making us wait. They made us wait for Star Wars. Finn, yeah, he's gonna get a girlfriend. Just wait. You know, they love making us wait. I don't know what that is.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah.
Even in reality, some groups make us wait. You know what I'm saying? You gotta wait for yourself. We're gonna take care of everybody else, but you're gonna have to wait. You know what I'm saying? So, but I was thinking,
wait.
I think that I could be wrong, but I think that that same young man, Tucson, I think he's gonna be older in another dimension through the Kang Wars, and that's how we're gonna get. Hopefully, that's how we're gonna get a new T'Challa, is that we're going to get an older version of him, or he might go through like some type of time warp thing where he ages quicker. He goes to another realm, and 10 to 15 years passes by, and he comes back and he's older. You know, that's a possibility. I don't know.
I can see that. That's a possibility. Yeah, that is a possibility. I could see that. That'd be interesting to see how they would handle that. That's not a terrible idea, but I don't know. I don't like this idea. It's like, well, we got this little kid, and then maybe in 15, 20 years, he could potentially take over the mantle. And I kind of agree with my man Nagasi when he said this in his stream, but this kind of in a way kind of undercuts what the whole movie did with Shuri, where it's like, well, if she's now taking over the mantle, let's lean with that, let's go with that if we're going to do that. And then it's like, well, we're leaning with Shuri, but we're also hedging our bets with this little kid down here who, like I said, one day might be Black Panther. It was a bit, hey, what's up, AK?
What's the word, AK?
How you doing? Yeah. I don't know if she's gonna hop in or not, but yeah, she popping in. Thanks for popping in. But yeah, it was like I said, it was a bit. I didn't completely hate it, but like the implications of it, I didn't care for. But like seeing the little kid, her being like, "Oh, this is your auntie. Say hi to your auntie," and blah blah blah, and all that. That was a nice little moment. I can't hate that. You know what I'm saying?
Nice. He's a I was gonna play devil's advocate, but I couldn't hold it. I was gonna say he was a little.
No, go ahead. No, play devil's advocate.
He's a little too happy to be the next Black Panther. He giggles too damn much. That's what I was saying.
Oh God, the kid's like 6. Leave him alone. But she said I'm gonna be in a minute on my way to the house. All right, that's cool. That's cool, AK. I'll let her get her shit off. But yeah, I thought that was fine. Did you like the lack of a post-credit scene? Because I was fine with there not being one. I'm kind of over post-credit scenes now, because most of these post-credit scenes ain't been worth shit. It's like, if y'all ain't got nothing, just let us know going into the movie so I can leave, and they got to be sitting there waiting to see some bullshit at the end of the movie. You know what I'm saying? That's at this point, like, post-credit scenes used to be cool, but now they just be playing with people's time, and it's like, if it ain't in the mid-credit scene, don't have it at all at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, they done kind of ruined the post-credit scene for me.
I actually like the post-credit scenes, because, like, if it doesn't come through right after when the movie... I mean, Doctor Strange, I think, probably... That was a weird post-credit scene, because both of them were, like you had, like you mentioned, him skipping down the street, you know what I'm saying? Both times. So, but this one I felt like
we end with him. Yeah, we end with him in pain, and then the next scene is just him walking down the street like shit's okay. I'm like, well, what the fuck was the last scene we just had? Oh man. I forgot about that. But anyway,
I felt this one was the most important one. If there was an important end credit scene, maybe somebody can correct me in the chat below. But I felt like this was the most important credit scene out of all the Marvel movies. Even showing Thanos like I'll do it myself, and he didn't do it himself. So I like this one. I felt like this was more heartfelt. You know what I'm saying? It it bears question. Like, all right, so what's going to happen next? What does this even mean? Are we going to even have another Black Panther? Are y'all fooling us like how y'all did Finn? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really too mad at the end credits though. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was going. Yeah, so what's next? I don't know. Are they going to make another Black Panther movie or not? I know they originally a couple years ago they were saying that Ryan Coogler was going to help develop a Wakanda something Disney Plus series, which I think is probably going to focus more on the Dora Milaje. But that was announced a couple years ago, and they haven't really said much about it since then. But I think that's coming. But in terms of another movie, I don't know what the hell they're going to do, and I can't wait to see how the other Avengers are going to react to, Shuri being the new queen in Black Panther. I want to see how that's going to go. I want to see how they're going to react to Namor, because as M'Baku said, he's as strong as the Hulk, which is true. Namor is a very strong character. And another thing that I didn't mention about Namor, I liked that they kept him being like centuries old, because in the comics, Namor aged just very slowly.
Right.
And he also, he was originally created in World War II, and he helped fought against the Nazis with Captain America. So the fact that they kept him old, I think they can kind of retcon in him helping out in World War II, secretly helping out in World War II, and we could potentially get some invaders type stuff. That was the Avengers of World War II. It was like Captain America, Namor, the OG Human Torch, Union Jack, and some other characters. And I always wanted them to do that in the MCU, but we didn't. And now they could kind of retroactively add that in, because now that they've established that Namor is old as fuck. But that was just something I thought was pretty cool. Once again, the CIA stuff, I feel like they build into the Thunderbolts, and it's just, at this point, I don't care.
Yeah.
We had the stream where I was talking about the Thunderbolts. This looks kind of like a lame version of the Suicide Squad. At this point, I'm not hyped for it. They're trying to work it in there. I'm just not there yet, but maybe the film will actually be good. I don't know. But
I'm trying to think who.
Any other things we didn't talk?
Who would they even?
They already had the
Black
team.
Panther. Yeah, like that was Usually when they show what's her name? Dreyfus. Is Dreyfus?
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, when they show her like
talking about Val.
Val, there we go. It's usually going to they're going to like recruit somebody. You know what I'm saying? But it was like with this one, it was like they're listening in. So I don't know what she's going to get from all of this. It was it just about arresting her ex-husband? You know what I mean? Or is it something else?
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
It was a plot hole. It was like it was something there, and they cut it out. And I'm like, it's kind of just like, well, why would they hear type of deal? Like, we doing all this for Everett? Like, Everett isn't that important of a character that you got to go through all of this for Everett. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Like, I mean, if he was in the movie or not, I liked him in this film. He was funny. I thought he was cool in this film.
Oh, yeah. I didn't hate him.
I felt he fit more in this film than he did in the first one. But I mean, if I didn't see, Everett in another Black Panther film, I wouldn't, it wouldn't bother me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he is minor enough of a character for him to kind of be there and not be there. And I felt like he just didn't need to be there. So yeah, you said you were looking forward to the Ironheart show. I'm very whelmed by Ironheart, but I'm not against Ironheart from what we got in this film.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where the hell her story is going to go from this, though. Maybe she's just going to be like envious because she couldn't take the suit with her. So maybe she's just going to be like, man, I really need to make a new suit. Speaking of which, this was something I know a lot of people are upset about. How did you feel about the Ironheart suit?
It reminded me. Remember, I don't know if you remember Transformers, the movie, the first one, the animated version, RC.
Yes.
The pink shoe.
Yeah.
That's what this one reminds me of. RC.
See, now a lot of people were shitting on the design. I didn't hate it. My brother fucking hated it. He was just like, I do not. He's like, that shit looks so ugly. I'm like, I didn't hate it. I thought it was fine. Her being in the suit was okay. I didn't hate the suit. Now I know she's got like a different design, and the show is a bit bulkier because I guess she's not using Wakandan technology or whatever. But her being in the suit, I thought it was all right. Kind of like we said, maybe they should have hinted a little more towards the connection between her and Tony Stark, just to so she didn't seem too much like she was copying him, I guess, because she's homaging him or whatever. But I thought it was okay for the most part. For the most part, like I said, I liked her very much early on in the film, and her back and forth with everybody. I thought she did great in the role. I think she's gonna do well in the role. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, the show will just give her more stuff to do.
Hopefully it's written correctly. I think that's what can hinder a lot of these actors if it's not written well. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. And she'll probably be in Armor Wars. I want to see how she interacts with what's his name, with Rhodey and all of that.
Rhodey, oh yeah, that would be. She might make. Since somebody on your show said that she might make Rhodey suits from now on.
Maybe, yeah, I could see that. Yeah,
like I remember hearing that.
I could see that
on your show. So
maybe, yeah. I think I remember saying I saw on Twitter. Someone was like, "Well, maybe in this version she'll be more of she'll probably idolize Rhodey more than she did Tony," which is like I think that would be kind of cool too, just to switch it up just a little bit. Because I mean, he is still around, but he also helped develop the the War Machine suit as well. So maybe she could look up to him. Or at least she'll be mentored by him more so than just her talking to the Tony Stark AI. Because it would seem a little weird at this point for her to be like, well, I love Tony too. It's like, well, he's already got Peter Parker. Like, we've already seen this with Peter Parker. We don't need to rehash this, with this other character, this newer character, just hopping in or whatever. But
that would be dope if Rhodey gave her like a military, not necessarily a military mindset, but just kind of trained her in a somewhat form of a military style on what to look out for, and they adopt that into her fighting skills. Like she can make mistakes, but certain things
strategic.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think that would be dope as shit. And trying to think of some other. Okay, so let's go into our grades. I will do that first before I bring this up. I was about to bring up something because I don't know if you saw the film or not, but I'll bring it up afterwards. But let's go into our grades. What would you grade Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
I'm going to use a grade. I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this a B. I definitely I liked it. It made me feel emotions. You know what I'm saying? I think that's always a good thing where you can relate to the characters. Like you said, the storyline wasn't complex. It was straightforward. But I think trying to overthink the story and making it more complex, and by it doing its own thing, it kind of made a different diversion or a different road to somewhere else where I wasn't expecting it to go. It was some surprises, like Queen. Like, even though I didn't like that, but it's war. You know what I'm saying? It's war. Like, it's going to be death, and the whole object of the game is to take out the Queen, to take out the head. So like somebody like Namor would do that. You know what I'm saying? Would take out their Queen. I didn't expect that. You know what I'm saying? So out of just being surprised and going along with the ride, I'm gonna have to give it a B.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll give it a B or a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it. I wasn't overly in love with it like I was with the first movie. Like I said, that is still my favorite MCU film. I think some of the character moments are stronger, and like the character moments in this are good, but it's also building off of the whole loss of Chadwick Boseman. That's kind of elevating it to a degree. Not saying the acting's bad, because I mean Angela Bassett, Tisha Wright, everybody did their thing in this. But I think certain scenes were just a little more impactful, a little tighter, had a better message towards them to a degree in the first film. There are some, like I said, still some good moments in this movie as well. The story, the pacing is not as great. Some of the action is not as great. It's good, don't get me wrong. And they do keep it to a degree more practical. It's not quite as much of a clusterfuck at the end of the first movie, at the end of this movie like it is in the first movie, but overall, that first Black Panther is a big experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, people were going crazy for that one. So it's gonna be hard to surpass that high or those highs, So still not a bad film. And one of the things I wanted to say, did you see The Woman King?
I did.
Okay.
That was gonna be when I was gonna do my podcast on this. I was gonna start off with Woman King 2. This was Woman King 2. You know?
To a degree, yes. But it hit me when I finished it. I was like, I actually like The Woman King as a movie more than this movie. I
did too.
They're similar, but I thought The Woman King is just, it's a much more contained, much more straightforward film. And I wouldn't necessarily say better acting, because I think the acting is great in both, but like it's a little different, somewhat similar, but there's certain things that they do in The Woman King that I like slightly in terms of the story, just a little bit more than what they did with this film. But I was just going to ask you, how did you feel if you saw them comparing the two? Which one you like more?
I definitely would say Woman King. This would be right. Woman King, I would say maybe a A-. Like if I just watched Woman King, just not for historical facts, but just for like entertainment.
Yeah. Just as a straight up, this is straight up as a movie.
Yeah. I give it an A. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up as a movie. Like I really enjoyed the characters, even the comedic scenes that came in. It fit. It didn't feel like it was pushed or rushed or anything like that. You know, like
that's a good point.
It's like in this movie, certain things like it's heavy and there's really no time to joke. You know what I mean? Like when they were looking for Riri and Riri didn't want to go, and I get it, it's a movie, and it didn't bother me when, you know, Shuri was like, hey, you know, well, you know, she was being sarcastic. No, actually, we didn't have that little comedic moment. I respected Shuri being sarcastic, like, well, hey, it's a guy with wing feet that's gonna come and kill you. It's on you, to kind of make her, you know, run.
Yeah.
I get that. That was cool, but like everything else before that, it was cool. But in the midst of battle or war,
the back and forth with her and Okoye.
Yeah, it was like, all right, you know, if you think about it, and like when the war is about to begin, you don't really need that. But in Woman King, it was like, hey, like it was peace. That's when you had the jokes. You know what I'm saying? From what I remember, I only saw it once. Could be wrong. It might have made it
for the most part. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I can't remember, but it
I don't remember them joking mid battle.
Right, I don't remember that. You know, but I have to go with the Woman King. You know, over Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted, because I know there was a controversy with both films, and it's like I kind of like Woman King is just a little bit better.
Yeah,
just a little bit in terms, like I said, just as a film. But okay, so now let's get into Phase 4 movie rankings. How would you rank the Phase 4 movies? Just the movies.
All right, let's see.
If you remember them all, I'm gonna name them off. Not in my order, but I'm gonna name them off. We got Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Eternals. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Black Widow. Thor: Love and Thunder. And I'm gonna throw in Werewolf by Night, because that's a special, but it kind of is somewhat of a movie. I'm gonna throw that in there as well. So
okay, so
we got 8
Black
options.
Widow, Eternal, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange. Now you said Spider-Man too, right? Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Eternals.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Man number 1. I'm gonna go with Doctor Strange number 2. I'm gonna go with no. Number 1 is gonna be, dang it. That's a hard one, man. That's a hard one. That's a hard one. Hold on, wait, time out. All right. I don't want to waste your time. Hold on, my bad. All right. So number 1 is going to be Spider-Man. All right. Number 2 is going to be Black Panther. Number 3 is going to be Doctor Strange. Number 4 is going to be Shang-Chi. Number 5, I'm going to say the Eternals. Number 6, I'm going to go with Love and Thunder. Then number 7, I'm going to go with Black Widow.
And where's Werewolf by Night? You go throw that in there, or have you watched it?
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, Werewolf by Night. That was pretty entertaining. I actually like that better than Love and Thunder. So I'm going to put that before Love and Thunder.
Okay. That sounds good. You was thinking it. I can see it in your face. You was thinking it like, yeah, that's about right. Okay. That's not bad. Now for me,
okay.
I think our top and our bottom of the list is the same. So for me, number one, I got Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Okay.
Number two, I have The Eternals.
Wow.
Number three, I have I know. Number three, I have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Okay.
4, I have Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. 5, I have Werewolf by Night.
Okay.
6 is Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Okay.
Yes. I got to go back and rewatch it, but I'm gonna put it at 6. That feels right.
Okay.
7 is Black Widow, and 8 is Thor: Love and Thunder. I got to put that one at the bottom.
Okay.
Add it at the bottom. It was a fight between that and Black Widow, and I was like, you know what? I was less annoyed by Black Widow than I was Thor: Love and Thunder. So I'll put that at the bottom for the rankings of the Phase 4 films. But y'all in the comments, let me know what are y'all rankings, or at least what's your favorite of the Phase 4 films? Because Phase 4 it's been rough. Hasn't been a smooth landing or a smooth ride at least. But this was the end of Phase 4.
Do you think it ended
and there
well?
She is. You know what? They ended on a good note. I wouldn't necessarily go super high note, but they ended on a good note. They didn't end on Thor: Love and Thunder, so that's good. You had to clean up that and a little bit of the She-Hulk nonsense. So it is what it is. I think she's ready. I'm gonna throw it in.
Hey.
She hopped in. You ready? Or do you want me to?
How does my audio sound? I don't have my headset with me right now.
Sounds good to me. On my end.
You sound all right now. It was a little all over the place, but it sounds good now.
Cool. So how are you guys?
Yeah, you sound good.
Cooling. Just getting off the roller coaster ride.
Basically.
All right, yeah. So where
how are you?
I didn't get to hear the first part of the stream. What are the thoughts?
We were ranking the Phase 4 movies at this point. I was stalling, waiting for you to hop.
Sorry, it took a little bit longer than I thought it was going to get home. All right, so Phase 4 movie rankings. Okay, remind me again what we have in Phase 4?
We got Spider-Man: No Way Home, Shang-Chi, Black Panther, Eternals, Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness, Black Widow, Thor: Love and Thunder, and I also threw in Werewolf by Night. Some people count it, some people aren't, but I threw it in there. It's kind of a movie special sort of deal, so I threw it in there.
True.
I did it wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, so that 8 options.
All right, hold on. Let me pull up a Word doc real quick because if I don't have all the names in front of me, I know I'm gonna forget something. So all right. Yes. Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Spidey, No Way Home.
Eternals,
No Way. I'm sorry. You said you're counting Werewolf by Midnight. Right.
Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
I thought AK started when she started off with Black Widow. I'm like, wow, that's different.
No. While I am a Widow fan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's definitely not number one.
And Thor: Love and Thunder.
I have 7. There's one.
Black Widow.
I got Black Widow, Shang-Chi, No Way Home, Eternals, Werewolf by Night, Multiverse of Madness, and Love and Thunder.
Okay, so Black Panther.
Wakanda Forever. Yeah. All right. So let's see then. Let's go from. I'll start at the bottom actually. Let's go from 8 to 1. So. Well, I did like Eternals. I have to put Eternals at the bottom.
God damn it!
I liked the movie.
Damn it!
But
it's not going to beat out her Black Widow.
Everything on here, I think, is a little more superior to it. Black, and again, I also like Black Widow, but that's going to be number 7.
Oh wow! Okay.
For this list, let's see. I'm between Shang-Chi and Spidey for number 6.
Damn, Spidey that low?
Maybe. Yeah,
Well, I mean,
I think there's enough elements of Multiverse of Madness actually I could put that into that trip too. So let's say we'll make Shang-Chi 6, Spidey number 5, Multiverse of Madness number 4, Thor Love and Thunder 3, Werewolf by Night I really enjoyed. I honestly do wish it would have been longer. So I'll put that at number 2 and then Wakanda Forever at number 1.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and then that doesn't mean that I like heavily disliked any of these films, just for the caliber of action and story and all the other things, how they interwove, new characters and whatnots. That's just how I saw it.
Okay. All right. Well, since you here and that was your top, so let's talk about what were some of your favorite things in the movie that you liked.
Favorite things in the movie. Well, first of all, probably like the only flex that I could have on here on theories is that I absolutely knew there was going to be a little T'Challa running around, and I was just waiting for the confirmation the whole movie, and then they gave it to me at the end. I was like, yes, I know it.
Yeah, that was I kind of that didn't occur to me, but when it happened, I was like, that makes sense.
It absolutely made sense.
I heard a rumor about it.
I didn't hear any rumors about it. I just thought that it was plausible because they very clearly had resumed their relationship. So it made nothing but sense. And the fact that Ramonda knew where she was also, I think, fit and made sense. So like when she said, well, did my mother get to meet him? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. So that it all fit. It all fit for how they would move trying to protect this boy. So technically, is it a recast T'Challa? Maybe. I think they could do for what's coming for Young Avengers. They could do the exact same thing they did with Scott Lang's daughter, age that kid up a little bit, and boom, he's on the Young Avengers.
Yeah, that's what Craig was saying. He had to go through like a time warp or something, and he comes out and he's old.
Anything is possible. If you write it the right way, it works. So I really love that. I also love that Nakia came back in with the super espionage black ops skills.
Yes.
She did unfortunately leave witnesses. She was supposed to try to get in. Get out.
Oh yeah, when she snuck in. Yeah.
There were guards there that had to be dealt with. So she probably, honestly, I feel like she would have just left them wounded, but that chick played her, she played the wrong card in trying to get Nakia to back down. She obviously didn't know who the hell Nakia was, and Nakia had to set the situation straight. So she came down there and she did what she had to do. She finished her mission. And I love the new suits.
Yeah.
That everyone had.
Yeah, I like the suit.
I like the suit that Nakia had. The suits for Okoye and what's my girl's name that Michaela was playing?
Akia, I think
that sounds about right. I even like their suits. I know that Okoye was adverse to them, but they look like when you're fighting people like this new set of people we have that, for all intents and purposes they're the Atlanteans.
I've been saying the Atlanteans the whole stream. I couldn't remember.
Because I am going to eventually use the name that they use, but I want to make sure that I pronounce it correctly. And I'm slightly tipsy right now, so that's probably just not a good idea for me to even try to go through and do. So we're just gonna say Atlanteans. We all know what I'm talking about. And I mean, I liked that new. And I can't really say it's a stealth suit, but it does all the things that you would need it to do for a Wakandan to fight an Atlantean, because the Dora Milaje, while they are good and they are strong, they're not going to be able to take on Atlanteans the way they should to actually shut them down. They needed that extra strength that suit gave. They needed the flight. They needed the ability to move that quickly underwater with it. And those new suits gave them that. So I'm here for all of the upgrades.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Now I thought that I had mentioned the Anika character in the comics. She's like her and her some of the Dora Milaje break off
Yeah, and they
and they
form a
form their
different
own
sex.
group.
Yeah. So
Yeah, and
I feel like this is the start of that. They're just spinning it a different way. This is like we had Nakia with like the solo Black Ops mission, and we know Io before she became general was running her own separate Black Ops missions from what was going down with the Winter Soldier. Falcon and Winter Soldier.
oh yeah,
But
with Bucky. Yeah, you're
now
right.
I think they're going to be able to focus a little more on having, not just not using the Dora Milaje like that, like the Secret Service. They're going to have a very specialized, even more like stealth Black Ops team. That is probably what Okoye and the character that Michaela is playing. And I keep calling her Michaela because that's her name. I know her from the show Chewing Gum that she actually wrote and I believe directed most of the episodes herself. It was on Netflix. If you haven't watched it, I guarantee you will laugh every minute of it being on. That show was hilarious.
Okay.
Yeah,
Go
I know.
check it out.
I know. Show you talking. Yeah.
Go check it out. Chewing Gum was a great show. And that's and she hit the ground running with that show, and she's been going ever since. I was really glad to see her here. And also something else that I really liked, and they didn't make a big deal out of it, which I also loved how they handled it. It was just one little quick thing, but that little exchange between her and Io at the end, where everything's settled. She comes up, kisses Io on the head. Io looks up at her. Thank you, my love. And that's it.
Yeah, thank you, my love.
That's how you know that they're a couple. Like I kind of got an inkling of it before, but they didn't do it too strong. And again, I love when they play things like that because people aren't always just going to be advertly, telling you about their relationships and
their relationship. Yeah.
So I really love that.
That's a good way to.
And I love particularly that it was Io because before Daniel Kaluuya's character and Okoye were written or rewritten, I should say, as husband and wife, Io and Okoye were supposed to have a thing in the first Black Panther. But I think they were too scared to actually do it. In that
I did hear something about that.
Yeah. It was supposed to be, and it wasn't going to be a big thing, but there was supposed to be just a small exchange where you could see, okay, yeah, there's something there between.
But it's like winking at each other. They were on the boat or something. They're supposed to wink at each other. It was going to be
it's some event that they were going to have to be at, and Okoye was gonna like walk by Io and say, "Oh, you look good," and Io was just gonna like wink at her and be like, "Yeah, I know," and that was gonna be it. But it would have been enough for you to show, yeah, there's a thing there.
I don't know. That would have went over my head because I see women give each other compliments all the time. So I would have been like,
you're right on that part. You're right, but yeah, it was actually meant to signify that there was some type of romance there. Okay. But I like what they did with Io and Michaela's character. That hit me pretty true, and I really, as sad as it was, I liked that whole sequence where, not the other deaths, but where Ramonda actually broke down everything after Shuri was taken.
Yeah, she fired. Yeah, that was a rough
scene. That was a rough scene. Like when they first showed the trailers and they showed that part, I thought that was going to be Ramonda talking to the UN.
I did too. I think they edited it that way. Yeah.
And that's great editing. That's great editing because it was completely misleading. I did not see that whole sequence of events coming. And it was so great to see because, yeah, on the one hand, Okoye is right. She has given everything, including dismissing the love that she had for her husband. I think that shit was fake, but whatever. All that. She has given her all. But also, the queen is absolutely right. Everything that she dressed Okoye down, she told not one lie. Not one lie. Like, yeah, I stood by everything and I fought to get this country back when you and every other motherfucker in here sided with that asshole that came and disrupted all of our shit. And you want me to do what now that here again I've put my trust in you? After all that, with my child's life, my last living baby, and you lost her. So I felt that, and again, Angela Bassett, just damn it.
Killed it.
How does this
Killed
woman
it.
not have all of the awards?
You think she's gonna get an award for this? You think?
I hope so. I want her to, but it's a comic book movie. They ain't gonna pay attention to that.
That's the thing.
And that's sad.
She should get a nomination. I don't think she would win, but like if all the roles where they said someone should have got nominated, this would be
at the very least. You know, there is one thing I will say. My biggest, second biggest disappointment. One was her death. I don't think that needed to be a part of the story to make it as impactful as it was. Yes, the absolutely R.I.P. to our queen. But also when you remember that the wives of the king come from the Dora Milaje. So you remember that Ramunda used to be a Dora Milaje.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell did you assholes not let her fight in that last scene before he killed her? I thought he was going to bust in and she was going to come out with the spear out of nowhere and bust it down, and that was going to be how she went out. Not just this stupid drowning saving Riri.
AK, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm with you. I thought she was going to come out in the suit.
Son.
I thought she was going to come out in the suit.
That opportunity. This is Angela Bassett. We have seen this woman pull
that would have been dope.
Physicality already. We know she could pull it off. So how did nobody have this idea in the writer's room?
Unless she didn't want to do it. That's the only way I can see.
Yeah, unless she was like,
that's definitely a possibility. That's
the only way though.
Given one or two roles that she's been in before this came out, I don't remember the name of the daggone movie, but it looked like she was gonna have to put in just a small bit of fighting grit into that role. So again, like I said, we know she could do this easily. Look at her. The woman still looks like she walked off the set of what's
she's still in shape. Exactly. She's still in shape.
That she would not have been able to handle
it. Kill it.
So yeah, like Chris said, the only reason that she wouldn't have done it, I think they shouldn't have done it is if she didn't want to. But I need to know that as a fact. That's like we can speculate that, but I need to know what happened there, because how did y'all not think to do that, especially after that What If episode? Where they showed her, like, until I saw that episode, I legit forgot that she was a freaking Dora Milaje. Why the hell has she not been fighting already?
Yeah.
She too bougie for that.
Nah, she don't fight me in that bougie lady. You put some respect on her name, damn it.
I would say this. If she would have fought, her death scene would have been more brutal. That's the thing. That's the trade-off.
I would have been okay with that, because that's where she's
going out like a warrior.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. That is how an ex-Dora Milaje should go out. That is how a queen fighting to save this child, fighting to keep the remnants of her country together still after having faced already such tragedies. That is how you would think she go. A woman that speaks with power like that has the fighting skill. Nah, man, that's how she goes out. Nah, I'm not with that.
Yeah, that took all the air out of the theater when that scene happened. Yeah, like my theater was just like, yo, what the fuck?
I went to see it with my brother, my little brother, my little sister, and our cousins, and we were all sitting there like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We already had one funeral.
That's what I was like. It felt like this was in the script before Chadwick passed, and they just had to add on Chadwick. The loss of T'Challa as well, but they didn't take this one out.
That's some bullshit. So they could have taken this out. I mean, unless Angela actually wanted to be done with the MCU, I could see that. But I don't recall. Possibly, we usually get pretty good reports on where their contracts are, and I don't recall her contract being up. But who knows? Who knows?
Maybe. I want to say rest in peace, Dorothy Steele, the 95-year-old actress that she had a little clip in there as well.
Yes. From Atlanta. I remember hearing about that.
Who did she play?
She was one of the tribal leaders.
One of the elders. The lady that was always in the blue, I think. Was it blue?
Right there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Damn it, I'm trying to get. Yeah, I'm trying to get the image now.
There you go.
Yes.
Right there.
Talking about her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
All right.
I didn't know she
R.I.P.
had-
R.I.P.
okay.
My lady.
Didn't know she had passed. That sucks.
Yes, we
Okay,
will have
so
to have
how
a new elder for that tribe next time we see Wakanda. Also,
next time, yeah. So, what were your thoughts on Namor? Because I thought they did a really good job.
I liked everything about it. I mean, especially his they showed the like full origin story and why his people did what they did and how they became the underwater civilization that they were. And you know what? I really liked whoever was responsible for writing his lines in particular. The part where they put in how Atlantis and Wakanda should have always been allies. Yeah.
That was cool.
Absolute, yeah. Because
that connection, I thought,
because
was cool.
guaranteed, Namor knew about them. He was able to get into Wakanda, no problem at all. But
that's what I said.
And you know why I think that is? It's because that the vibranium is in his blood. That's pretty much the only trigger that would have set off the alarm.
That's a great. Yo, that's dope.
Oh,
I'm rocking with that.
So he didn't have to hack anything. All he had to do was swim.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? I didn't say. I was questioning that. I was like, how was no sensors were set off or anything? But now that you say with the vibranium in their blood,
they've all got that vibranium. The tattoos on their lips.
Yeah.
Because the vibranium isn't in their blood like it is for the Atlanteans. So that's how they call it.
Okay, see, if they would have explained that should have been explained because that makes sense in terms of the rules of this universe.
I mean,
that makes sense.
And you're right. They didn't say that. I just thought automatically that's what it was.
Yeah. That didn't even... Yeah. Because I'm thinking, yes, his clothes are vibranium, but you're right. It's in their bloodstreams too because of the... Fuck. Yeah, you're right.
And there's also, like, if you notice, it's a small thing, and I may be misreading it. It may not mean anything. But when they showed them going through the gate that one time and they showed the guards opening the gates, it's no longer just like pushing a button and you get in, but they actually have like a sound rhythm key lock that they have to go through. I think they changed that after Kilmonger.
They're beating on the water.
Oh yeah, it was
so
different.
So it's not just having to have that tattoo read, but it's specific to sound beat. And I would imagine it's probably not even the same beat every time, but it's just for that gate, I think. All of the other barriers, they're all set to be tripped if someone without the vibranium tattoo comes through, but it wouldn't trip for Namor because he literally is made of vibranium. Like Shuri said, he's covered in vibranium. She was only seeing all of his clothes. She didn't account for his blood until he actually told her the story.
Yeah, that's a good. Damn, that is a very good point.
That's when I went to the
and then that's how she used it to.
And that's what I caught that almost immediately. Once he gave her that, he said, "Yeah, this is made from the original plant that they use." I was like, "Oh, that's how she does it right there. That's got to be how she does it." But it took them like a whole other half hour to get back to that story point.
To get to that, yeah.
I was so mad sitting there like, "Oh."
That's a good, that whole origin was really dope.
That was
how he got his name and all of that.
And that's another point of why I love that he said Wakanda and Atlantis should have always been allies, because they legit have the same damn origin story. Colonizers came in and stole their shit and killed their people.
Yeah, and they got to. That's what I was saying. It was a roundabout way for them to become allies again. And I like that when Shuri runs into Kilmonger in the afterlife, and he's kind of telling her like, "Yo, your father would have made the wrong decision because he would have just straight up killed this girl. Your brother was a little too noble. He would have been trying to, maybe like try to fight. He would be too willing, too prideful to fight against Namor. It's like you kind of got to work with this guy to a degree because he's telling the truth. Like
he would have low key made the same decision that Shuri did right away when she started thinking about it. She said, "Yo, I can't let you kill her. So let's do this here." He didn't like that. Okay, fine. Keep me. Send her back until we can work out whatever we need to work out that she's not going to get that technology. The one thing that actually made me mad about that is they didn't fully explain what happened with the machine that Riri made. She didn't make that to go out and look for vibranium. That's just how they twisted the tech after they got it.
Once again,
had that point been made to Namor, I think he would have been persuaded a little bit easier to let her live.
Yeah, I think that's why they didn't do it. That's that movie mistake they do in horror movies where they don't tell the character the full story.
They could have. The story can keep going. This story though. They could have still had this story, and still could have had a great action and plot points without her death being the major plot point that they're trying to get to.
Yeah, the MacGuffin.
Like this is a lot. This is a lot to save this world.
Well, like I was saying, it felt like that whole CIA stuff should have been the real villains pulling the strings.
Like y'all really had Bilbo Baggins.
Disney didn't want to do that.
Set and primed and. What was I seeing? Like, was that not the freaking Contessa?
Yeah, that was her.
That was his boss, his ex-wife.
That was
apparently
his ex-wife. Yeah, apparently, yeah. Which I was like, when they said that, I was like, did they say his ex-wife?
I yelled. I actually yelled. And what?
Yeah. I was like, oh wait.
And of course,
like Everett,
my cousins were looking at me like, "Why is that an issue?" I said, "I will explain later. I can't get into the whole rundown right now." But
that was
how is the special agent that is recruiting all of the Dark Avengers the head of this division of the CIA right now?
I mean, well, they're working for the government.
How is this going to play out later on?
Kind of. I mean, it's half-assed Suicide Squad. She's half-assed.
Okay, the Thunderbolts were, but they didn't give any inclination of what she was doing anything with the CIA.
True.
That's why it tripped me out. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Huh?
She did come off like she was more like a private sort of deal.
That's why I was very surprised to see her there. I said, wait, no, that just has to be somebody that looks like her. Then I looked it up. I said, wait, no, that's her.
Well,
that was her. That was
that's her.
I don't know what they do in real life. I was watching another series, Snowfall, and it was a guy who works for the CIA, but then he eventually got promoted to the underground where he's dealing dope to everyone. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe she was CIA first and then ended up in the secret organization.
Possibly. And then ended up tumbling down spiral like Sharon did, maybe?
Possibly. Or they're backing her. They might be backing Sharon. They might not be backing her.
That's what I'm saying. I think they're backing her. That's what I think. Or either they're backing her, or she's like
or at least she's like the Black Ops for now.
Private security company. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, because
who knows?
Because Sharon called. Yeah, they never said who Sharon called at the end of that once she got her part in. She was right back on the job as soon as she got downstairs. She didn't waste no time setting her shit up. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I like that it was there though, because it's probably not going to mean a whole lot, but I want to know how the fuck was you married to Bilbo here, ma'am? Y'all's personalities don't even look like they go together.
Does not match. Yeah. Did not match.
That's why he's the ex.
What? True. But to start it off though, it's just like, geez, okay.
But I would say this though, he must be good at love making.
Yeah, I was not fully prepared for the stream because I did not mean to have the house spark up at all.
You're fine.
He must be good at love making because didn't she say she wanted to sit on him?
Oh, she did say that. It was something like that. That was there was something like that. Yeah. There was some crazy shit.
She was throwing all types of signals that she straight up threw that lady shade once she heard that he on the phone. I mean, she knew he was.
Had a date.
Found out later that she knew he was lying. But she straight through that shit like, oh, you talking to the new boo? Okay, yeah. You know what? Never mind. I ain't gonna wait. I'll go ahead. Bye. Right. she almost ran out the damn car. Like, so kudos to you for playing your part well. That was just a very interesting tidbit that I did not see coming at all.
Yeah,
I'm here.
That
for
was
it,
crazy.
I love when they put in just little small interesting twists.
Yeah, that was a shocker, but then it was also kind of like, well, it didn't quite go.
Let's see
anywhere for the most part.
Yeah. What did y'all? So what'd you say?
I didn't say anything. I was going to move on to. Oh well, how did you feel? Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Okay. Crit, you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, there she go.
Oh, okay. There she go. Okay, you might have cut out for a little bit.
Am I cut out?
I was going to add. Yeah, I think you might have cut out for a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I think my internet was lagging.
Gotcha. With that being said, how did you feel about Ironheart and Riri? I thought she was okay.
I liked her character. Again, I'll say they definitely aged her up. I did not expect her to be 19. Specifically because she's spectacular, not because she's 19 at MIT, but because she's like 15 at MIT. And I feel like that would have been a better fit, especially with her coming into the Young Avengers as my girl, Manny Meeks. What's good, man? My lady. That's my streaming partner, y'all.
Oh, okay. What's up?
Yes. Hello.
Well, maybe they might be giving her a love interest in college for a series. And if she's 15, it might be a little weird.
Well, I mean, all the Young Avengers aren't that within the MCU. They aren't that young. They're all kind of like late teens to early 20s.
But then again, yeah. What once we see, because when we saw Patriot, I think he was like 17 in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
In Falcon and Winter.
So so by now he's also about the same age as Riri. So it makes sense.
And Hawkeye's in her mid-20s, right? Hawkeye.
Kate Bishop is the oldest of them, and I think that's why she's probably going to end up being the leader for a bit before Patriot
takes over. What about
Ant-Man's
daughter?
They aged her up too.
She's gonna be in there too. Yep, she's gonna be in there as well. She what is her code name?
She's got two. It's Stature and Stinger, I think, are the two. Yeah. Stature and Stinger, I think, are the two code names for her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna go with Stature just because it sounds cooler.
Yeah, but when she's got the Stinger gear in the Ant-Man 3.
But yeah, so it makes sense, and
All right, you cut out. You hear us, AK? Her internet is her internet.
If y'all can hear me, I just
she's restarting
private chat. Let me go back and restart. Yeah, because I don't know what's going on with this lag. Back.
All right, that's fine. Restart.
All right.
Let me message her. Let her restart.
All right.
Yeah, but that's a good point though. But yeah, no, because Stature, I think it's a little bit older because they done recasted that girl like 3 times now, right? And I think she's probably in her early 20s. She might be like 18 or 19 at this point because I forget how old she was in the end of Endgame.
It said looking at something. It said she might be from age 15 to 17. I'm gonna go with the latter and say 17.
Yeah, let's go with 17 then. Yeah, because she didn't look super young. So yeah,
right.
But yeah, I forgot that Riri is a kid. Like yeah, she's kind of like around Miles' age. Because like I said, I never really read any of the comics with her in it. Not like a super fan of the character or anything. But like I said, I thought she was fine in the movie. I was not necessarily like, oh man, I can't wait for that show, but I will watch it because it's I'm an MCU fan. So.
Right.
Yeah, it's Marvel. Yeah, it's got that Marvel brand. I will watch it. Hopefully, it'll be good and all of that. But I don't know where her being in this movie, how that's going to lead into the next thing. Maybe maybe the government's still going to be trying to steal from her or something, or maybe she's going to be going after the government for stealing her device and using it against her will or whatever. Which was an interesting plot line once again, and they just didn't really touch on it. Mm-hmm. Black inventors building something and then it's just getting taken from them, and they don't even know nothing about it, or get no credit for it or anything like that. Slight message. They just didn't. Black inventors building something and then it's just getting taken from them, and they don't even know nothing about it, or get no credit for it or anything like that. I agree. Yes, I agree. I just said that. I'll add her in when she's ready.
I thought I heard.
What was you gonna say, Craig?
Oh,
no, that was me. She's listening, but
okay.
I don't know if she's ready.
Now I was gonna ask. So do you think that from now on they're not gonna, when Shuri is, when they have the little competition thing, they're not gonna fight anymore? They're gonna do an arm wrestle to see who can win instead of actually fight?
Oh, she's good. Okay, I had her. Shuri, I mean, much like Kilmonger, Shuri, she's not for the old traditions. So I think she's gonna kind of get rid of that. That was the whole reason why she wasn't there, because she was just like, I got other shit to do. I don't have time to be hanging out on the edge of the cliff and all of that. Like, I gotta go, handle some other business.
This arm wrestle, that's how you determine it.
I will say, I think that's.
Oh, would you say, AK?
Say it again?
That's probably another thing that I think I did not like.
What was that? Say it again.
God damn it! Bloody hell! I don't know.
Say it again. We can hear you. We can hear,
man. Okay, I was gonna say that her actually not fighting is a thing that I didn't like, because she very much trains alongside her brother in the comics. Like, even though she wasn't getting ready to be Black Panther at all yet, and she was handling all of the tech stuff, she was still training to fight. They didn't show that side of Shuri here.
They didn't show it.
Granted, they didn't necessarily have to show, because I mean, I think you can look at her muscle tone, even though she is very slim. You can look at her muscle tone and tell. And look at her moves and see that, obviously she's been training, and she can handle some of these things. Namor is definitely the better fighter. So yeah, she was absolutely getting her ass handed to her. And, I would expect that for someone like her going up against Namor. The little thing with her and Winston Duke's character, I think the arm wrestle thing, that was just between them. I think that's just, they had gotten to a new point in their relationship. We see he's not as adverse to Wakanda as a whole as he was before. He's grown himself in his own character development, and I think they did have a decent repertoire between each other. So that was the fight. Not even really a fight. That was just enough. Her coming through and showing that she had that willingness, that commitment, was enough for him to say, all right, fine. Now I see you got your head back where it should be. Let's go do this. Her not showing up for the fight at the end, though, nah. I call bullshit. That's disrespectful as hell. And I need some more explanation on what the hell's going on there. Okay, cool. He wants to challenge, and they want to make him the king for right now. Obviously, she's still going to be the Black Panther, though. So, because I don't foresee a movie where we're going to get him as the Black Panther.
No.
Am I wrong in thinking that? See, I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's so. It makes no sense, because the challenge isn't to be king. The challenge is to be Black Panther. So I don't.
But you're right.
How that actually fits.
See, now I took that as more just him kind of playing around, because he knew she wasn't coming. So he was just kind of just being like, hey, it's just me, it's not her. That's kind of what I took that as.
Right there. but yeah, that's a whole lot of extra to do. But then again, he is an extra motherfucker. So okay,
He is.
Okay.
He is super extra.
If that's what it is, then it fits.
I have one thing.
Otherwise, I don't see him. I don't see him being Black Panther. So I don't like. I kind of don't like that they didn't give an actual explanation there.
I was a little disappointed with one thing with the M'Baku, the Jabari clan. Where are the women in their clan? like they just there's no women in the mountains with them. There's no women in the Jabari.
Few. In the first movie they did, but I didn't see too many of them in this movie.
Because I thought we were going to see them.
They showed a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I don't like all the women live in what where the Durham Milaje are and stuff. There's no women over there in the Jabari clan. I was like, dang.
That's a good point. They don't really show them that much, but
Here's one thing. I thought we were going to see a little bit more of the Jabari lands. I mean, yeah, we know it's the mountainous region. We know that it snows a lot up there, but they didn't really show for having to evacuate the whole rest of the country to that area. They didn't really show too much of where everybody was, and all they showed was, we need more space, right? But we still only saw just the one throne room. How?
Yeah,
right.
How did that work out?
Budgetary. It was COVID. They had restrictions. They couldn't go all over. They couldn't go all over the area.
They ran out of budget for it.
They had to quarantine the mountain. They said, "No, we can't put all y'all over here."
That's hilarious.
Oh man, that's a good point though. You're right. There was that one little area that probably kept showing. That was that one little area. It was just funny. I mean, I will say though, I liked every time he had to talk about something though, all of those interactions, gold. Yeah, especially I wish he had more. I wish him and Nakia had. That was funny. I just wish him and Nakia had more screen time. That's the only thing. I feel like even with the first movie, they kind of wish they keep undercutting them because they're very good actors. So yeah. More of them and less of Everett and his wife fucking around,
especially
doing nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. Are you going to do the MVP?
One thing that's
yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, what were you saying, AK?
I was going to say the one thing that I am disappointed because I don't think it's a storyline that they're going to be able to do anymore with the way they have to write Black Panther now with Chadwick's passing is Nakia's comic storyline. I was really looking forward to her taking on that more villainous role, but I don't see how they would be able to work that in now.
Yeah,
especially with T'Challa's second there.
I was thinking
and
the
she's
same.
She's like
she could have been evil
at that time Haiti now. So.
Yeah.
She's
her as evil baby
maybe,
mama
but a whole lot will have to happen though.
True.
I mean, okay, but evil baby mama I could get, but the baby is already here.
Right.
True.
Now, did they have a baby in the comics?
Yeah. See, and then that's the thing. We're not gonna have
anything with. I don't think they did in the comics.
No,
no,
they never got together. Right? Nakia's issue, she went villainous because he wouldn't choose her. She was one of the Dora Milaje, and she wanted to be the one chosen because she was in love with him, but he said no. So that's when she became a villain.
Yeah. That's why I said there's a lot of storylines that they're gonna miss by not having.
Yeah, a lot of things have to change now.
So let me get this straight. So
unless they want to do, the multiverse is fully open.
So to marry the king, you have to be a Dora Milaje, correct?
You don't have to be, but that's tradition. Yeah, you don't have to be, but that's kind of what they've been doing. Storm wasn't necessarily Dora Milaje.
So is that why they resisted Storm in the comics?
To a degree, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I think they resented Storm simply because she wasn't Wakandan. That's what the big thing was, and that's eventually the elders wore him down, and he divorced her specifically because she wasn't Wakandan.
It's stupid, but
Okay.
Yeah.
It's dumb.
They always
but,
need
but when you have
they need a reason for the
traditional
heroes
elders like
not to be happy. Yeah. That was just plot convenience. They just need the heroes to not be happy.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Basically.
Yep.
But all right, so now let's get into
Especially if they're melanated.
MVPs. Yeah, exactly. Facts. Let's get into the MVPs of the movie. I'm gonna start with AK. Who is your MVP of Black Panther: Wakanda Forever?
Ooh. This might be surprising, but I'm gonna say Namor. If I only have to pick one person, I'm going to say Namor because I love everything he brought in. For the asshole that I know Namor is from the comics, my boy has it right. He understood the assignment.
He did pretty good.
He came in cocky as hell. You're going to join me and you're going to help me do this thing or else.
Yeah,
and this is after you broke into the country. Like, bitch, what? You're talking to the queen and you telling her she gonna do something or else. Okay,
yes,
bro.
Just straight up.
I have no love for the surface world. Yep. So yeah, I really love how he played that character, and I cannot wait to see what is going to come next with him.
Yeah, I do too. Him in Fantastic Four, if they put him in the Fantastic Four, that's going to be even crazier. Him pulling up on Sue,
that's going to be even
wild.
More
Yeah,
yo,
gonna be wild.
I'm waiting for that. For real, I low-key thought he was flirting with Shuri a little bit.
Low-key?
Yeah,
I thought it was going. I thought
low-key. No,
that was it.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna happen too. Okay, so this is how we're gonna bring peace about. Okay, the two royals gonna marry. Okay, all right. I mean, he a lot older than her, but she grown now, so it's cool. We can make that work.
It's cool. She's legal. It's fine.
I mean, and they would have some pretty kids too. Look at him.
Yeah, I thought they were going that route too. But
not forget pretty, that just powerful. Because he and I love that they say that he said I was the first mutant. I appreciate that.
Yep. I appreciated that too. He's like, I'm a mutant.
As far as he knows, right?
Yeah, he's one of the first. Yeah. I like that too. I like that they just flat out. They didn't play around with it. He just flat out said it.
Mm-hmm. They just flat out said it. Yeah. So it is what it is. Now everyone knows. You've been waiting for the X-Men. Well, here's the introduction. Now we have mutants fully in here.
Yeah. Kamala Khan. We got him. There was a couple in She-Hulk too.
I love what they did.
That were mutants.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
They're getting
there
them
were
in there.
a few of the guys that were at the lodge.
Yeah, that's right. At the lodge. All right, Crit Cow, who's your MVP of the movie?
My MVP, I'm gonna have to go with Nakia. I'm gonna be a little bit biased on that because I love Lupita. You know what I'm saying? But just the fact that with the character, the way, the way that, like at first they, she played the back. You know what I mean? She was, doing her thing in Haiti, and it was like, we need a mission. And she came in, and she, as always, she like surpasses her mission, her goal every time. And the way she just came in, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was just dope. You know what I mean? Then the ending, you know what I'm saying? It was like, hey, I got this surprise for you. You know what I'm saying? For those who didn't know, those who didn't hear the rumor or didn't guess it, you know what I'm saying? Bam. I felt like every time she came on screen, she was delivering. You know what I mean? She might not have had a major spot, you know what I'm saying? But every time she took up the limelight or the camera time, she was hitting for me. You know what I'm saying? So I have to go with Nakia on that one.
Okay, I agree. I mean, y'all just took both of my picks, so I'm gonna be different.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah.
Real quick, Brogi, real quick.
Go ahead.
Throw a little somebody that watches this later might be mad, so I'll apologize, Brogi. But did y'all notice that the curves was hitting a little bit thicker.
We definitely did.
Lady Nakia,
or was it we definitely me? Did.
Double check.
It was not you. All the whole world noticed.
I appreciated every single bit of it.
The whole world noticed, and I was just like, "Oh my,
yes."
Them yams, yes, yes, the yams were yummy.
When she won her award, like I never saw 21 years a slave. 21 years a slave?
12 years. 12 years. You added more years.
Yeah, I done flipped it.
12
nigga ain't never getting out there.
Yo,
I mean, neither one of them are good. So
right. But I almost, because I'm kind of like out of the slave movies a little bit, but I almost watched it just for Lupita. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I can't watch a slave movie just to see Lupita. That'd be crazy. So I stuck to my guns on that one.
Nope.
But yeah,
can't even tell you the last one of those I did watch willingly.
Right.
Last one I watched was Woman King. That's the only.
Yeah, that's the closest. That's the closest.
Yeah,
of a slave movie.
All right, so we got
actually
Namor.
Yeah, but I don't count that.
Peter. You know what? Since y'all chose that, I'm gonna go with
who you got, Brogi?
Homegirl Okoye.
Yo, she was dope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Okoye. She was holding it down.
No.
Yeah, she got fired doing her job. I didn't agree with that, but then again, the Queen was making some good points.
Understood.
Queen was making some good points. But like you got to hold that. She was holding it down as best she could, man. I'm just saying. True, but still. She should have got her job back by the end of the movie. That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna go with Danny Guerrero. Danny Guerrero, is that her name? I'm saying that right?
Deny Guerrero.
Deny Guerrero. Okay.
Deny Guerrero. Excuse me. Deny Guerrero. But yeah, she's awesome. I love her, and she was whooping ass.
Absolutely.
Hopefully they do that Disney Plus series, and maybe she'll get a little more screen time with her and the Doris. But like, yeah, she's awesome. I fuck with her.
And plus, we got to see that storyline with her and her husband.
I think that's what they're supposed to do. Actually, go ahead, Critical.
Oh, no, I was saying because I know Daniel Kaluuya had like another project, and that's why he couldn't be in this one.
Yeah, he was in Note. He was working on Note.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but yeah,
hopefully working on Note.
We can get something, more of a storyline, because I did like that storyline. You know what I mean? That they had the conflict.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They love each other, but yet he was following the new king. He was doing what he was supposed to do, and she kind of was doing it too. But I guess I don't know. Like some people say that I guess at the end they were saying that Kilmonger actually won. That was it. The fight's over. You can't just restart it up. You know what I'm saying? Actually Daniel Kaluuya character isn't wrong, to be honest. That's what I think.
They were both doing, they were both trying to serve in what they thought was right. I would have liked to have seen a scene.
He didn't die though.
Oh, you have to die?
No, he didn't. I would like to see a scene with her talking to him in the cell, because even the Queen kind of threw that in her face, where she's like, well, I can't talk to my people. You can at least still talk to your people. I would have liked to seen a scene with them interacting behind bars. That would have been special. Yeah, right. Yeah, basically, yeah, right. So I would have liked to seen a moment between those two, but maybe the third movie, I don't know, but we'll see with that one. So, AK, give us. You didn't get to give us a grade. What would you grade Wakanda Forever? You hear me?
I missed what you said just now.
Oh,
okay. I was saying you didn't give us. Yeah. I thought you was thinking. You didn't give us a grade. What would you grade Wakanda Forever?
Oh, well, what are we grading on? What scale?
1 out of 10, or whatever works for you. But I used to do 1 out of 10.
1 out of 10. I will go with 8.5 beads out of 10.
Okay.
Because I did love a lot. I loved a lot of it, there are just, a couple of those crucial things that were big for me that I didn't agree with. So still a great movie though. Absolutely looking forward to what they do for the next one, because they definitely ramped it up from the first one. So, well, yeah, we'll see what happens with the next one. And like Namor said, things are going to be thinging, and they're absolutely going to have to look to the Atlanteans for help. He called that right. Also, he was about to die. So either way, smart choice for him to yield.
yeah, right.
And it played out the way it played out. So I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next. I think I saw on Twitter, Wakanda Forever spoilers out of context, and the last gift that they had up in the 4 was Ashley Larry from the Chappelle Show.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
If you remember who Ashley Larry was, you'll get context.
Yeah. Now, when she dried him out, for some reason I thought she was gonna make like some sort of coating on his body to suffocate him. Maybe I was thinking a little darker. Like I thought she was gonna
that's what I thought it was gonna be, but no, it was as simple as just drying him out.
That's drying them out. Yeah,
dig a hole and make a sandcastle above them,
or something to actually suck moisture out.
yeah, something like that. Too. I thought it was gonna be a little more.
When I don't know if y'all ever watched SpongeBob SquarePants, but when SpongeBob went to see that first time, a little more elaborate than just some lamps. I mean, but it makes sense.
Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah. It's basic. It makes sense.
I wish he was a little bit more gadget heavy, like just throwing stuff out and just trapping them. You know what I mean? That would have been doper.
Yeah. I can see that too. I think that's probably how she's going to operate.
Yeah.
More so, like you were saying, a little more Batman-ish. Yeah, I can see that. But I think we can kind of wrap this up now. We did good. Did pretty good. Like I said, solid film. This has brought us. Hey, you're fine. It's no problem. No problem. Long you came in, get your thoughts out there. Nothing wrong with that. It's never a set time anyway. It's just hop in when you can type shit. But yeah. So that was Wakanda Forever, solid film. Like I said, not as good as the first, but not terrible. Some people are trying hard. I think they're trying way too hard to say, "Oh, this is the worst movie ever." It's not. It's really not. You gotta try harder than that.
It's really not.
Yeah. You got it. It's not. It's not that bad, but it's just not as the first one was such a high bar. It's not always gonna pass it, that easily. But it is what it is. Tough situation. Once again, before we leave, just want to say R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
R.I.P.
Great actor. And also, we did this earlier, you didn't see it, but R.I.P. to Kevin Conroy as well. Another great actor. So, yeah, we'll peace out. But I'm going to finish this up. AK, I'm going to let you go first. Let the people know where they can find you.
You can find me on my channel, AK Watch. Not sure exactly what the next show I will be getting into is, but once I know, set your notifications, then you'll know too. Pretty sure I'll be back on with the crew, Fandom D Saints and DJ11. I think we're going to be covering Murders in the Building. We're going to start back from season 1. And then keep pushing all the way up to season 3, I believe, is what just started. So we'll go through all that. Heard it was a great show, and it's Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short that star in it. Great casting, great storylines. Been hearing a lot of good stuff about it, so looking forward to diving into that. So you can find that on DJ11's channel. Besides that, just keep your notifications set, and when I pop up, you'll know.
All right. And Critical.
Yes.
Where can they find you, man?
You all can reach me at Critical Blue Reviews on Instagram and on Twitter with a K, of course. And you can reach me, see my videos on Critical's Blue Reviews on YouTube. Have some horror stuff in there, action stuff. So we're just getting the ball rolling, and also some reacting stuff too. So yes. So that'll be it. And thank you, BrogiNaric, for inviting me. And it's always good seeing and hearing from you, AK.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. And thank you as well, Brogi, for always pulling me on. Always love being here and hanging with Critical and the guys. So always a great time.
Brogi, you there?
Are you muted, bro? Because I see a thing pinging on the stream. But
I forgot I was muted. Thank you. I forgot I was muted. God damn it. I forgot I was muted. I forgot I was muted. Thank you. I was about to sign this shit off. Thank you. I forgot I was muted. My
Good
bad.
job.
We standing there looking
My
stiff
bad.
face, be like,
Beautiful work.
My bad. God damn it. Anyway,
it's all good.
that's the stream. You can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all things BrogiNaric. Don't forget to check out all these fine people on the streams channels and support their content. And stay tuned for more. All right. Peace.
Peace. Wakanda